Hey everyone, a lot of you asked me to cover the series Peerless Poison Demon, where the protagonist becomes the head of a pharmaceutical company. Although I finished it over a week ago, there was an error that took a while to fix, so I'm just now able to upload it. In the year 2326, at the Mount Siorak outpost in the territory of the Samhan Empire, a squad was desperately searching for someone. Hurry up and catch him. If he escapes, we're all dead. Kim Tae-joo ran for his life. What on earth did I do wrong? He couldn't understand why they were so intent on killing him. The sound of footsteps was right behind him. Stop right there. Kim Tae-joo burst out of the dense forest. He suddenly coughed up blood. Damn it, my chest. It's acting up again. Kim Tae-joo collapsed by a cliff. A voice called out, "Second Lieutenant Kim Tae-joo." The man spoke with a mocking tone. Having another seizure from trying so hard to run away. Are we? First Lieutenant Kang In-dong, the platoon leader of the Mount Siorak outpost, and a low-grade, elementary-level awakened, led the team surrounding him. Look at the damn mana reject, on the verge of death. They had cornered Kim Tae-joo. You have nowhere left to run. Second Lieutenant Kim Tae-joo angrily demanded. Why are you all treating me so cruelly? Kang In-dong sneered smugly. Are you really asking that? Or are you just pretending you don't know that a mana reject like you should have disappeared like trash a long time ago? He brazenly drew his sword. How dare you have the gall to live to the age of 29 and become an eyesore to him? Kim Tae-joo froze. Her ladyship, who? His hand began to tremble uncontrollably. Don't tell me. You're talking about Honda Mitsui? Kang In-dong bluntly admitted it. Even if she's just your stepmother, she's still your mother. Watch your mouth. He suddenly lunged forward, moving too fast for Kim Tae-joo to react. Kang In-dong said smugly, "Now die." The blade plunged deep into his body. Kim Tae-joo was thrown backward as the man confidently declared, Lady Mitsui's two sons will be the ones to inherit the Pazu territory. He fell straight down the steep cliff below. Kang In-dong uttered one last word. Farewell. One day, 300 years ago, in the year 2026, a solar eclipse occurred. On that very day, mana energy officially descended upon the Earth. That tragedy caused 90% of humanity to be completely wiped out. The climate changed erratically, and cities began to crumble. And just like that, all of civilization vanished into thin air. 3 centuries later, in the year 2326, the survivors had adapted to mana and rebuilt the world. However, with the appearance of demonic beasts and poisonous herbs mutated by mana, a new war began to break out. As the war dragged on, a hierarchical system based on mana compatibility was formed. Masters, the subjugation force for demonic beasts. The awakened, who possess tattoos on their faces. Mana adapters, who have enhanced physical bodies and combat abilities. Mana harmonizers, ordinary citizens who can live in a mana environment. And mana rejects. Their bodies reject mana. My father was a top-tier, awakened, a master, General Kim Woong-bang. And I, despite being the eldest son, am a mana reject, slowly dying from mana poisoning. A worthless reject, the incompetent eldest son, a freeloader on my family, the object of ridicule, my mother's killer, a man with an incurable disease. That's me, Kim Tae-joo. Kim Tae-joo let out a self-deprecating laugh. I've strived my whole life to achieve immortality, but no matter how I look at it, this place doesn't look like the celestial realm. He clicked his tongue as he sensed his surroundings. It looks like a bizarre combination of Chinese architecture and something utterly grotesque. What is that? And where am I? A mysterious voice echoed. What is this place after all? Do you know where this is? Kim Tae-joo was lying on the ground. He groggily opened his eyes. Am I still alive? The man slowly approached him. Tang Jiu-e gently lifted Kim Tae-joo. Stand up and let me have a clear look at you. A glint of interest shone in his eyes. The Peerless Poison Demon. Tang Jiu-e, the head of the Sichuan Tang Clan, the pinnacle of poison and hidden weapon mastery. During the era when the demonic cult was consuming the martial world, he forced the cult leader, Chun Ma, into self-destruction. With a single handful of poison, he became the absolute ruler of the martial world, and the one who possessed the same soul as me. In his final years, while in seclusion to achieve ascension, his soul connected with mine. Kim Tae-joo took it all in. The moment they recognized each other, this man's memories flooded into his mind. He blankly uttered, Tang Jiu-e, are you me? Tang Jiu-e seemed amused. So, these are your memories? He briefly summarized Kim Tae-joo's life. Kim Tae-joo, right? You are my earthly counterpart, the one who shares my soul. Yet, despite having the same potential, you've been scorned your entire life, shackled by the label of a mana reject. Tang Jiu-e came to a conclusion. I see. Now I understand. This place is our shared mental space. He stated with certainty. I am you, and you are me. Tang Jiu-e instructed, accept all of my experience and knowledge. He showed him the way. If you train according to them, you too will become the absolute ruler in your world. His mind was shaken as all that wisdom surged into his head like a tidal wave. As the mental world came to an end, the man gave his final instructions. Use this power to live however you wish. Tang Jiu-e said his last words. I wish you good fortune on your martial path. Kim Tae-joo, he jolted awake, drenched in a cold sweat. Tang Jiu-e, Kim Tae-joo was stunned. It wasn't a dream. All of his knowledge is still ingrained in my head. His fingers dug into the ground as Kim Tae-joo struggled to move. To survive this moment, he was filled with determination. The martial art that made Tang Jiu-e the supreme ruler, the one that makes me stronger, the more poison I consume. I need to master the primordial poison god art. Kim Tae-joo desperately clung to life. Luckily, there are plenty of poisonous plants scattered around here. He forced them into his mouth, chewing and swallowing with trembling hands. If I want to live, I have to eat this. He laid out his plan. As long as I can convert the toxins I've ingested into internal energy and form a poison core, a poison person. The process was slowly progressing. I can restructure my body and end this fate of being a reject. Kim Tae-joo's determination burned brightly. I will survive, no matter what, and I'll make every single one of them pay. And I'm starting with you, Kang In-dong. The night forest was anything but quiet. If he's dead, we need a body. Split up and find him. The squad was frantically searching. Where did he go? Kang In-dong shouted impatiently. What's taking so long to find one corpse? They shined their lights closer to him. Found Kim Tae-joo. So this is where he was. How is this possible? It looks like he's still alive. One of them noticed something. Sir, this guy's aura feels off. They were dumbfounded. Is this a mana reaction? Kim Tae-joo wasn't using mana. He was using toxicity to accumulate internal energy. Kang In-dong's brows furrowed. How is this possible for a reject? Kill him before this gets any more complicated. Someone charged forward, full of killing intent. Kim Tae-joo barely moved as his opponent swung a knife down at him, and his eyes snapped open. Kim Tae-joo sent the man flying with a single punch, stunning the entire squad. He was stunned himself. Was this internal energy? Kim Tae-joo grew excited. Great. With this power in my hands, I can pay them back for everything. Kim Tae-joo smiled and greeted him. Long time no see. Huh? Kang In-dong gasped. What's with that smug look? Second Lieutenant Kim Tae-joo. Don't tell me you just awakened? But if that's the case, where's your seal? He chuckled in response. Awakened? A pseudo-awakened is classified as a supreme pseudo-awakened. Non-awakened, supreme master pseudo-awakened. Unique awakening seal. Master rank, low rank master, mid-rank master, high rank master, official awakened, low rank awakened, non-awakened. After awakening, a rank denoting awakening seal appears on your face. Kang In-dong is currently a low rank awakened. In martial arts terms, he's just a third-rate warrior. Nothing to be afraid of, Kim Tae-joo thought to himself. Have you said your last words? Kang In-dong was furious. What? You arrogant bastard. He took a few coins out of his pocket as power surged through Kim Tae-joo's body. Everything you people did to me, I'll return it 100-fold. The man drew his sword. What's wrong with this guy? Did the fall make him go crazy? They all charged at once. Let's see you get out of this one. Everyone, attack. Kim Tae-joo focused power into his fingertips. Even though this is my first battle in this body, I feel strangely calm. He wondered, is it because of Tang Jiu-e's memories? Kim Tae-joo analyzed the situation. Even if the demonic energy rejects me, the path of the demonic poison master is still within this body. He was filled with determination, knowing he could do this. Kim Tae-joo threw 3 coins at once. They precisely struck down 3 soldiers. Corpse poison art. First stance. It was so fast, no one could even react. They gracefully struck, one after another. Phantom illusion boundary. He continued to switch up his techniques. Kim Tae-joo slammed his fist into Kang In-dong's chest. Bloody poison palm. The man was sent flying dozens of meters. One of Kang In-dong's soldiers nervously pointed his gun at Kim Tae-joo and yelled, Die! The barrel was right against his head, but Kim Tae-joo vanished, taking out several more men in the blink of an eye. Kim Tae-joo commented coldly, Too slow. He walked straight towards his main target. Kang In-dong trembled in a corner. You, what did you do to me? Kim Tae-joo frowned in annoyance. It seems every awakened is the same when faced with poison. The man struggled to ask, You clearly don't have an awakening seal, so how can you use skills? He replied mockingly, Skills? If Tang Jiu-e heard that, he'd probably roll over in his grave. By the way, how does it feel to be tortured? Kim Tae-joo growled. Does it feel awful? Kang In-dong was bleeding more and more heavily. I'm sorry, Second Lieutenant Kim. Please, spare me. He reached out and squeezed the man's neck, causing Kang In-dong to groan in agony. He was lifted into the air, unable to breathe. Kang In-dong screamed in outrage. Do you have any idea who's backing me? Kim Tae-joo finished him off without hesitation. The man's last words were, Lord Mitsui will not forgive you. He couldn't be bothered to care, coldly dropping the corpse to the ground. He couldn't help but laugh, his eyes gleaming. Don't worry, I have no intention of dying quietly. The Samhan Empire, a nation established after the Great Mana Cataclysm, formed from the unification of the territories of Korea, China, ancient Japan, and the Pazu domain. Kim Tae-joo's hometown is a small, barren city within the Samhan Empire. The Samhan Empire, Pazu domain. The news had reached Kim Woong-bang. What? Kim Tae-joo was discharged from the military? The messenger confirmed, yes, sir. There was an assassination attempt within the army. He leaned back in his chair. An assassination? The messenger continued. First Lieutenant Kang In-dong and his squad attacked him during a reconnaissance mission near a cliff. Second Lieutenant Kim was lucky to survive, but he has since been discharged and has gone missing. First Lieutenant Kang and his squad were attacked by mana beasts while escaping, and it's presumed they were devoured. Kim Woong-bang let out a weary sigh. Why on earth would they do such a thing? The report states they were hired by an officer of Japanese descent. His eyes lit up. Japanese descent? Kim Woong-bang shut his eyes tightly. Could it be Mitsui, Honda Mitsui, the daughter of a powerful Japanese clan, and the mother of Tae-bong, Dae-chun, Tae-yoon, and Taeyeon Kim Tae-joo's 4 half-siblings? In order for her 2 awakened sons to inherit Pazu, she had always been waiting for Kim Tae-joo's death. The boy managed to live to 29 without dying, so she got impatient? Is that why she asked her family in the Kyushu domain to arrange the assassination? He mulled it over with a headache. He was destined to die young anyway. All she had to do was wait a little longer. Although this was a serious matter, Pazu was currently struggling and still needed the help of her wealthy family. Kim Woong-bang made up his mind. I have no choice but to help her cover this up. He sat up straight. All right, I'll handle it. You may leave. The man obeyed. As you command. The door slammed shut. Kim Woong-bang was certain that a mana rejector like Kim Tae-joo would die from a mana overload sooner or later anyway. Living to 29 was already a miracle, he thought to himself as he gazed outside. Although Mitsui's actions had crossed a line, the ones who would inherit everything would be Tae-bong, Dae-chun, Tae-yoon, and Taeyeon. Turning a blind eye is the best option. Kim Woong-bang decided coldly, missing, huh? Then I suppose I won't be seeing him again. I won't look for him. Let him live out the rest of his life as a wanderer and die somewhere. The Mount Jiu'e Mana Beast Restricted Area, a territory of the Samhan Empire. Kim Tae-joo was excited. You can see all of Guri from here. He had a traveling companion. Mr. Kim, is this your first time seeing all of Guri? Kim Tae-joo confirmed. That's right, Mr. O. I haven't been here very long. Mr. O smiled and asked, oh my, then you must not know much about this city, do you? He felt a bit awkward. Well, 300 years ago, the free city of Guri was just a small town in Korea. But everything changed after it was annexed into the Samhan Empire. There are a lot of mana beasts on Mount Jiu'e that need to be constantly culled, so the emperor chose Guri as a base of operations and declared it a free city. Here, taxes on materials from mana beasts are reduced, and certain illegal activities are permitted. With loosened regulations, awakened beings flocked here, leading to a boom in the mana beast hunting industry, Mr. O explained in one long breath. And so, Guri became a rich, major city, producing over 20% of the empire's mana beast materials. Basically, this is a land of opportunity for those who need money. Kim Tae-joo was completely overloaded. He could have just said that from the start. The man gave a careful warning, but because of that, there's also a lot of crime, so you always have to be on your guard. He took in the information. Thanks for the heads up, Mr. O replied enthusiastically. If you have any questions, just ask me. Now, let's get moving, Kim Tae-joo thought to himself. He talks a lot, but he's a good person. He even gave me advice. His mind began to wander. Not long ago, after I barely survived an assassination attempt in the military, I got discharged, cut off all my ties, and went searching for a place to get stronger. And that's how I ended up here, in the free city of Guri. Here, the Empire's power doesn't high, so my position within the clan is unlikely to be exposed. Besides, this place is full of poisonous herbs and venomous beasts, which is perfect for my training. Martial arts was a concept that was still very foreign to me, as it came from a fateful encounter when I shared a soul with the great poison demon, Tang Jiu-e, just before my death. The person who shared a soul with me in the martial arts world passed down the Supreme Profound Origin Poison Spirit technique to me. Now that I think about it, didn't Honda Mitsui also help me in a way? Kim Tae-joo silently calculated that he still lacked the money and strength to be independent, so he was currently working as a porter on Jiri-san to grow stronger. Suddenly, Mr. O called out, "Hey, Mr. Kim," he suddenly asked, "who do you think is the strongest in this group?" He smiled and replied, "That's hard to say, sir." Mr. O cheerfully introduced, "You see that swordswoman over there? That's Han Noel, an official, professional grade awakened." Kim Tae-joo exclaimed in awe. She looked so young, but she's incredible. He silently noted that an official awakened was a level above a beginner-level awakened, like Kang In-dong. Kim Tae-joo observed her closely, but why is her mana flow so strange? Suddenly, Han Newell's eyes rolled back, and she collapsed, unconscious. Everyone panicked. It's a mutated three-striped mosquito. Don't let it bite you. He was momentarily stunned. Mosquitoes? Eun Jae-in acted swiftly. Move! Let me handle this! She quickly condensed mana into her staff. Eun Jae-in unleashed a powerful spell, Fireball. The destructive power was immense. Kim Tae-joo was baffled and didn't understand. Boss, why are they panicking so much? Mr. O explained. If you get bitten by that mosquito, your mana will temporarily disappear. In severe cases, you'll pass out just like that. Many parties have been wiped out just because of these mosquitoes, so it's understandable that they're sensitive. He tried to take a closer look. This type of poison is similar to the one in Tang Jiu-e's memories. Kim Tae-joo thought about getting closer. Maybe I should try using the poison spirit technique? He asked with concern. Are you okay? Kim Tae-joo was surprised. Even these strong hands were trembling. Damn it, this area isn't supposed to have mosquitoes. They told each other, Captain, we don't have any insect repellent. We should retreat. Miss, Lai is down too. I guess we have no choice, right? Suddenly, there was a rustle in the bushes, and he became alert. The captain shouted, all units, prepare for battle. But what emerged was just a long-tailed horned rabbit, the lowest level magical beast on the food chain. They reproduce quickly, so they're often used for experiments. They all breathed a sigh of relief. What was that? Just a white rabbit? He carelessly made a decision. Everyone, retreat safely. Immediately after, something sharp flashed by. Both of them were decapitated in an instant, and the rest of the team had no time to react. Everyone realized in horror that an entire army of orcs had surrounded them. Eun Jae-in quickly made a decision. Damn it, I'll buy some time. Get the injured out first, Mr. O frantically called out. Mr. Kim Tae-joo is still healing Han Nol. He was very calm. You all go on ahead, I'll stay behind. He had already started running. What are you talking about? This is no place for us, Kim Tae-joo thought to himself. Their numbers are too great, so I have to help out. He helped Mr. O lift Han Newell onto his shoulders. Sir, please take Miss Lee with you, he grumbled. Good grief, it makes no difference whether you stay or not. Kim Tae-joo urged him impatiently. There's no time. Go quickly, I'll just provide support from a distance. Mr. O acted fast. All right, I'll be right back. Don't you dare die on me. He put down his gear. Yes, don't worry about me. Kim Tae-joo immediately noticed something unusual. This is strange. The movements of these orcs are very organized. Eun Jae-in cast her fire lance spell. Die. She was startled to realize one was charging towards the group of porters. Eun Jae-in spun around and changed her target. She attacked swiftly. Where do you think you're going? Eun Jae-in surrounded them. Fire wall. Kim Tae-joo had to back away from the intense heat. He suddenly shouted, Get down! She froze, unable to react in time. Eun Jae-in was dazed, completely unaware of the danger. What? Scene changed to the immortal realm. Individual landmasses floated everywhere. In a small pavilion in the middle of a lake, a lonely figure sat in silence. Tang Jiu-e mused, It's been exactly 1 month since I arrived in this place. If I hadn't met Kim Tae-joo, things probably wouldn't have gone so smoothly. He recalled the events that had transpired before. The knowledge I gained about the planet called Earth was thanks to the process of soul resonance. At that time, Tang Jiu-e's body was enveloped in an aura of energy. That was what helped me reach a completely new level of enlightenment. And yet, I should have seen all of this coming. His hand clenched, trembling with restrained rage. This so-called realm of immortals is. Tang Jiu-e's face was red with fury, his teeth clenched tightly. Just look at them. They're like a bunch of lunatics. Nothing more, nothing less. Seeing Zhang Sanfeng riding his sword across the sky, cackling, Tang Jiu-e thought to himself, whether it's the founder of a sect or the legendary grandmasters, he assessed internally, they all act just as strangely. Now what do I do? Zhang Sanfeng just got knocked out. Someone chased after him. Zhang Sanfeng roared, Get back here, you crazed sword immortal. Tang Jiu-e silently watched the two from a distance. They're just savages, with no humanity at all. From the other side, curses could be heard. Die! He felt a bit helpless. To think I wasted so many years only to end up in this god-forsaken place. Suddenly, Tang Jiu-e remembered his meeting with Kim Tae-joo. Even so, that fateful connection did produce a result. Perhaps I should try to think a little more positively. His gaze drifted into the distance as he silently wondered, Kim Tae-joo, are you living well right now? Although we share the same soul, fate dictated that I would become the supreme ruler of the martial world, while you were forced to live the life of the weakest of the weak, despised by all. From now on, I hope you can find your own happiness, even if it means relying on my power. He sent a silent blessing. You need to reach the 7th level of the primordial absolute poison soul art, so you must grow strong quickly. Tang Jiu-e stroked his beard and chuckled softly. If fate wills it, we will surely meet again. Until then, I will continue to search this prison. He was in the middle of speaking when he was struck hard from behind on the neck. To find new things to teach you. Far off in the sky, Zhang Sanfeng stood with his hands on his hips, laughing triumphantly. How does a real flying sword taste, Tang Jiu-e? How dare those cheap tricks of scattering daggers and money look down on the way of the sword? This time, an enraged Tang Jiu-e immediately charged after him. You insane swordsman! I will definitely take your life. Scene changed to a patch of land where a wall of fire was rising around Un-jae-in. Suddenly, an urgent voice shouted, startling her. Dodge! An orc's figure unexpectedly appeared from behind. Kim Tae-joo quickly glanced over to assess the situation. He let out a soft ch. Next, his arm slammed into the back of Un-jae-in's neck. The tip of Kim Tae-joo's shoe stomped hard on the ground to gain momentum, his eyes sharp and intense. I'll let you witness the wide-area hidden weapon technique I've just mastered. Kim Tae-joo's body was seen spinning in mid-air, launching round coins that shot out in all directions. Secret Dagger Art, Adran of Ruin. The ORCs were hit head-on, their limbs severed before they could even react. The coins flew high into the air from the momentum. After executing the move, he landed back on the ground just as the coins came raining down. Thinking of the unconscious Un-jae-in, he wondered what to do with her. In my haste to save her, I accidentally knocked her out. Kim Tae-joo had a clear grasp of the situation. After all, there was nothing to be gained from revealing his true power. He turned to leave. Even if it's an ORC so weak anyone could handle it, if a porter with no tattoo wipes them all out, people are bound to get suspicious. This could even reach his father's ears. Looking at the chaotic scene of headless ORC corpses, Kim Tae-joo told himself he'd better get out of here before someone shows up. At that moment, his expression softened slightly. It's strange when you think about it. Just a month ago, I was a reject with no mana. And now, I have to worry about people finding out about my abilities. My life really turned a new page after I met Master Tang. Then, Kim Tae-joo took out his hip pouch. He had to clean up the scene quickly before it was too late. He bent down and began picking up the coins one by one, feeling a little lazy. Cleaning up after using throwing weapons is such a pain. You have to pick them up one by one, and if you lose one, it's gone for good. The manufacturing cost must be pretty high. His pouch started to fill up. I heard that from the 7th level onward, you can automatically retrieve your throwing weapons. I need to get stronger, fast. Wait, why am I one short? Kim Tae-joo stood up and looked around. Where could it have fallen? I clearly remember throwing it in this direction. Soon enough, he found a coin lodged firmly in a nearby tree trunk. There it is. Suddenly, Kim Tae-joo noticed a rather large red mosquito next to it. His eyes immediately narrowed with suspicion. In the next moment, he snatched it with his bare hand. When he opened his palm, the mosquito was encased in a bubble of aura. I've heard that these mutated mosquitoes aren't supposed to be in this area. Kim Tae-joo thought of Han Nol, wondering if this was the very mosquito that bit the girl earlier. The mutated mosquito in his palm twitched slightly. Kim Tae-joo looked down to observe it. Once this mosquito's toxin enters the body, it immediately dissipates one's internal energy. For the awakened, their mana temporarily vanishes completely. It's not like that other place. Here, this is an extremely dangerous poison with no known cure. Since there's no antidote, the only way to prevent it is by wearing protective gear. If only I could analyze the components that make up this poison, perhaps I could use Master Tang's knowledge to formulate something similar to an antidote. Of course, I'd need to find herbs on Earth with medicinal properties equivalent to those in the martial world. There's no other choice. At this thought, Kim Tae-joo's expression suddenly became incredibly intense. I'll just have to taste it directly. Without another word, he decisively popped the mutated mosquito into his mouth. From the outside, you could see Kim Tae-joo's Adam's apple move as he swallowed. As he registered the taste, he seemed to relax a bit. Phew, thankfully, the components are quite similar. Kim Tae-joo's face lit up with excitement. If I can just find a few of these herbs in the Mount Jiri area, I can make the cure. I can already smell the money. This is definitely going to bring in a huge profit. He made a plan. As soon as I get back, I have to start the experiments immediately. Suddenly, his eyes caught sight of something. The next second, pure shock was written all over his face. Watching a high-rank ORC lumbering toward him, Kim Tae-joo froze in place. A high-rank ORC here. Its eyes were a gleaming, bloodshot red, and its appearance was utterly ferocious. The high-rank ORC growled in a barbaric voice. Human. You must die. Faced with its colossal size, Kim Tae-joo was somewhat taken aback. That massive body, and the ability to speak human language. His eyebrows furrowed. This is an evolved high-rank ORC, a monster I've only ever heard about in stories. Suddenly, Kim Tae-joo realized something wasn't right. First the mosquitoes, then the ORCs. And now a high-rank monster appearing in a supposedly stable area. What the hell is happening here on Mount Jiu-e? Before he could react, the high-rank ORC raised its massive axe and roared, "Die, humans!" It swung its powerful arms, bringing the weapon down with a crash. Instantly, a deep trench was carved into the ground in front of it. Kim Tae-joo, who had already leaped into the air, was understandably stunned. Unbelievable. With that kind of terrifying power, it must be at least expert rank or higher. He pulled out a few coins, holding them between his fingers. My current offensive skills probably aren't enough to turn this situation around. Still, I should throw a few attacks to test its strength. Kim Tae-joo flicked his wrist, sending the coins flying. They shot toward the high-rank ORC's position. However, its skin was able to block the attack. Not only that, but the coins were crushed to pieces by some kind of invisible force. This outcome was what Kim Tae-joo had quietly expected, just as I predicted. He landed a safe distance away from the high-rank ORC. Even First Slash, my most powerful throwing weapon technique, didn't leave a scratch on it. The elemental dance would be even less effective since its damage is too spread out. Kim Tae-joo considered another method of attack. I wonder if the Death Blood Poison Palm could give this monster a hard time. Suddenly, the high-rank ORC grew impatient and let out a thunderous roar. For a moment, Kim Tae-joo's face went blank. Damn it, the enemy is standing right here in front of me, and what the hell am I doing? He thought to himself that just because one attack failed, he had started hesitating and overthinking. If Master Tang saw me being this pathetic, he'd surely be disappointed. A layer of blue aura began to glow around Kim Tae-joo's hand. I guess I got too complacent after wiping out those other ORCs so easily. This time, he resolved to go all out. No matter what, I'll just keep attacking it until it finally goes down. Because of that resolve, one of Kim Tae-joo's eyes flashed. This was the creed of the Supreme Poison Demon, the blood-killing poison palm. The high-rank ORC also turned to build momentum. It swung its weapon, the blade pointing straight at the charging Kim Tae-joo. Suddenly, he came to an abrupt halt, blood trickling from the corners of his mouth as a brilliant light erupted in the middle of the forest. A moment later, smoke and dust filled the air. The blade of the high-rank ORC's weapon was now chipped. It stood tall, facing Kim Tae-joo, who was kneeling on the ground. Thoughts raced through his mind. That first slash was too shallow. I still haven't managed to inflict a fatal wound on its body. If that's the case, a determined look filled Kim Tae-joo's eyes. I'll just have to keep hitting it with one attack after another until it goes down. Suddenly, a strange weapon appeared, and before it could even react, the high-rank orc was hit with a flurry of slashes. Seeing this, Kim Tae-joo froze. What the? The high-rank orc was attacked without any chance to fight back. Looking at the formidable figure of the veteran, he marveled to himself. Did he just kill a high-rank orc that quickly? With that level of power, he had to be a masterclass. I should have left earlier, but that high-rank orc kept me here. Suddenly, he felt a bit flustered. Now, what kind of excuse am I supposed to give him? The other man suddenly spoke up. Hey, you. He pointed to the corpses Kim Tae-joo had dealt with earlier. Are you the one who did this? The question was probing and accusatory. You don't have any tattoos on your face, which means you're not an awakened. So how could a lowly weakling like you possibly take down a whole squad of orcs like this? Kim Tae-joo said nothing, remaining silent as the man maintained his cold and unapproachable demeanor. The standing commissioner of Guri, captain of the Civil Defense Force, and guildmaster of the Nogadan Guild, Lee Yong-hyuk. In his head, Kim Tae-joo sized him up, noting the condescending tone, the powerful aura, and that masterclass strength. This guy was clearly no ordinary person. I need to be careful with every word I say. So on the surface, Kim Tae-joo remained meek. Thank you for saving me. He was about to introduce himself first. I am, but suddenly, Mr. O and two others appeared. Hey, Kim, is everything all right? He gave a faint smile. Boss, I'm fine, but, the man cut him off. Not you. I'm asking about the package. Only then did Kim Tae-joo remember. The package? Oh, yes. Luckily this benefactor arrived just in time, so everything is fine. Hearing that, Mr. O turned his head curiously. What benefactor? When he saw Lee Yong-hyuk, he was astonished. Is that Sir Lee Yong-hyuk? Just then, his two subordinates came to his side. Sir, please forgive us, we were a bit late. But Lee Yong-hyuk just waved his hand. Forget it. Just call the cleanup crew and pack up so we can get out of here. Mr. O explained to Kim Tae-joo. Did you know? Guri is an autonomous city, so it's run by a self-governing council, not the empire. Sir Lee Yong-hyuk here is one of the 3 standing commissioners with supreme voting rights. He's also the head of the Nogadan Guild, which is in charge of security, and he's a master-class awakened. He continued, porters like us all have to pay protection fees to this guild in exchange for our safety. Lee Yong-hyuk frowned, looking slightly annoyed. Hey, that's enough out of you. Realizing his mistake, the man panicked. Oh, Dear, I've said too much. My sincerest apologies, sir. Come on, Kim. Get over here and thank the man. Kim Tae-joo bowed his head deeply and replied sincerely. Thank you for saving my life, sir. I am Kim Tae-joo, a porter who just recently arrived in Guri. Of course, Lee Yong-hyuk wasn't about to believe that. A porter? Are you trying to tell me you didn't kill those orcs? But he stubbornly denied it. How could that be possible? What ability would a hired hand like me have? That female mage over there was the one who handled all those orcs. She kept calling me trash and you peasant and all that. Then she fainted from mana exhaustion. Then that high-rank orc just showed up out of nowhere. At that moment, his subordinate reported, "Sir, we've secured the survivor. The cleanup crew is on their way. We should be heading back." Lee Yong-hyuk turned on his heel, ordering, "All right, let's go." Then he paused for a moment, as if remembering something. "Oh, hey." Lee Yong-hyuk glanced back over his shoulder and smirked. "Kim Tae-joo, was it? Since you're new to my Guri region, I'll give you a piece of advice. Don't cause any trouble if we happen to meet again under worse circumstances." He let out a loud laugh, a direct warning. "I won't let you walk away in one piece like you did today." It was Mr. Oh who responded. "I understand, sir. I wish you a safe journey, Sir Lee Yong-hyuk." After the man left, he finally let out a sigh of relief. He's finally gone. You saw him, didn't you, Kim? If you ever get on his bad side, your life in Guri is over. So it's best you never run into him again. But Kim Tae-joo wasn't scared off by just a few words. He seems a bit hard to approach. But is he really that bad? He's just the security captain in name for show, Mr. O revealed. In reality, he takes bribes from thugs and turns a blind eye. He continued. He only goes on patrol himself once in a while to polish his own reputation. He showed up so suddenly because we were in a hurry. Otherwise, I would have told you to go somewhere else. Kim Tae-joo replied, "I understand." Mr. O kept advising him. A master class awakened is no different from a natural disaster. It's best not to get involved with them. Anyway, forget it. Let's get our precious cargo down the mountain before it gets dark. The package is still really okay, right? He laughed heartily, reassuring him. Of course, it's still in perfect condition. As he reached for the case, Kim Tae-joo thought to himself, to be honest, if that guy Lee Yong-hyuk hadn't interfered, I probably could have handled it myself. At this, his mood soured a little. It's been over a month since the soul resonance, and what the hell have I even accomplished in all that time? Have I gotten arrogant just because I escaped my life as a good-for-nothing thanks to some pre-existing power? Or is it because I got lucky and defeated one awakened? Kim Tae-joo mentally chastised himself. This is pathetic. I feel so ashamed to face Elder Tang. From this moment on, things will definitely have to change. A glint appeared in his eyes, this time filled with extreme determination. I will get stronger, no matter the cost. The Samhan Empire. In the free city of Guri, although this place had a relatively stable urban infrastructure, it still had certain shortcomings. The most prominent among them was the fact that there were hardly any decent hospitals. Because this was a city full of danger, doctors weren't too keen on moving here. The few small clinics that did exist were frequented by troublemakers who had fled here, making the general populace wary of visiting them. You could easily witness a few brawls just by walking down the street. You think you can just walk away from this? Hey, you one-armed cripple. The inevitable consequence was that poison shops, or in other words, apothecaries, popped up like mushrooms. Given these unique circumstances, pharmacists in Guri were granted the authority to prescribe medicine to their customers. They had the right to dispense medicine and sell various pharmaceuticals approved by the Administration Bureau or the Self-Governing Committee. Business here was also booming simply because spending money on proven medicines was far more effective than betting on untrustworthy hospitals. Kim Tae-joo thought to himself, and that's also why I'm here. My goal is to sell the antidote for the mutated striped mosquito, but he couldn't help but feel frustrated. Do you people have any idea how much I struggled for the past month just to create this? During the day, I had to work for hire to earn money and find time to gather ingredients. And at night, I poured all my energy into martial arts training. The potion extraction process requires extremely delicate control, so reaching the 3-star level was an absolute must. Of course, Kim Tae-joo also reaped some well-deserved rewards for his efforts. Well, thanks to all that effort, I've finally reached the 3-star mark. I guess from now on, I won't be pushed around so easily anymore. He looked up at the sky, telling himself, if this deal is a success, I won't have to constantly worry about money ever again. That's right, it's time for me to get rich. A moment later, the door was pushed open, a bell chiming to announce an arrival. The female employee greeted him gently. Welcome to the B Pharmacy. She followed procedure and asked Kim Tae-joo, how can I help you today? A fast-acting hemostatic potion, or perhaps a mana recovery potion? But he asked in return, excuse me, is the owner here? Hearing this, the saleswoman immediately turned to him with a look of surprise. Excuse me? Kim Tae-joo maintained a slight smile and repeated himself. I'm not here to buy. I'm here to sell. Her gaze immediately shifted to the man beside her, who was busy arranging some items. He covered his mouth and gave a light cough, then politely introduced himself. I'm the owner here. My name is Bak Hongpyo. Whatever it is, you can discuss it directly with me. Representative of the Bee Pharmacy and director of the Bee Orphanage, Mr. Bak Hongpyo. The young man began to rummage through his bag. Hello, sir. I stopped by because I'd like to sell a potion that I concocted myself. Bak Hongpyo's face immediately soured as he thought to himself, another one of these peddlers? This kind of thing happens every day. He then turned his back decisively, not even bothering to look. I'm not interested. You can leave. From the looks of you, you must be a newcomer who just got here. If you want to make money, go try your luck at the labor market. Kim Tae-joo didn't stop, pulling out a small bottle. This is an antidote for the mutated three-striped mosquito. Bak Hongpyo replied reflexively, I already told you I'm not buying anything. But he immediately froze, turning his head back to confirm. What did you say it was an antidote for? Kim Tae-joo held the bottle, shook it gently, and repeated each word. The antidote for the mutated striped mosquito. Bak Hongpyo's gaze immediately grew intense. Kim Tae-joo placed the bottle on the counter, adding, as for how to use it, it's very simple. You can drink it beforehand as a preventative. He dropped it right into the cardboard box the owner was holding. The effects of the potion can last for up to 10 hours. Suddenly, Bak Hongpyo became furious. He loudly gave the young man a piece of his mind. Hey, if you're going to try and scam people, at least come up with a more believable story. A mosquito antidote? Honestly, this kid. However, Kim Tae-joo remained perfectly calm and placed another bottle on the counter. I'll leave 2 more vials here. His posture was incredibly confident. Go ahead and try it. If you're interested, get in contact with me. Then, Kim Tae-joo placed his business card on the table. The deadline is midnight tonight. Kim Tae-joo, 0100. With that, he turned, walked out the door, and left with a wave. If I don't get a response by then, I'll take it to another pharmacy. After Kim Tae-joo left, a strange silence fell over the shop. Everyone had a baffled look on their face. What the hell? Is that bastard insane? A hand reached out to pick up one of the bottles. Well now, is this really supposed to be a mosquito antidote? Park Jin-soo seemed a little interested in it. What do you think, Chairman Bak? Do you believe him? Park Jin-soo, raid team captain, official member, heavy potion user often called the junkie. He just gave the man a meaningful look. Bak Hongpyo didn't seem overly skeptical. Well, I really don't know. He took the bottle back from Park Jin-soo. I suppose we'll have to test it to see whether it's real or not. He recalled Kim Tae-joo's earlier attitude. Even the top pharmaceutical corporations in the Samhan Empire have failed to create a mosquito antidote, so I shouldn't get my hopes up. But his over-the-top confidence is giving me pause. The saleswoman cried out, Captain Park, don't touch that. Park Jin-soo paid her no mind. Come on, didn't the chairman himself say it needed to be tested? Hearing the commotion, Bak Hongpyo's gaze immediately shot over, and seeing the man pouring the bottle into his mouth, he yelled in a stern voice, Hey, you crazy junkie, why would you drink something that hasn't even been verified? After drinking it, Park Jin-soo casually wiped his mouth, a blank look on his face. Huh? This is just plain water. Bak Hongpyo couldn't help but be curious. Just plain water? He pressed again. You're a professional potion user. You've probably tasted every kind there is, right? You really can't sense any medicinal properties in it. But the answer was still that he felt nothing. Park Jin-soo was very confident in his experience. Just like you said, Chairman, I've tried more than my fair share of potions. If this were a real antidote, I'd be able to feel some kind of energy. But this is just plain water. I got my hopes up for nothing. He then unceremoniously tossed the empty bottle into the trash. Well, thanks to me, everything's clear now. He's just a scammer. Just throw the rest of the vials out so we can be done with it. Looking at the bottle in the bin, Bak Hongpyo had to suppress his hope. So he was just another one of those swindlers who shows up every day, huh? Park Jin-soo lifted his basket of goods onto the counter. I'll pay for this. The saleswoman inquired. Are you heading out to hunt again now, sir? He replied, Yep, today's goal is to hunt frogs. I'm running a little late because I was held up trying that scammer's so-called potion. She stated the price. Your total comes to 3.25 million. Park Jin-soo looked a bit helpless. The prices went up again? Man, this is getting ridiculously expensive. I'll pay it all at once. After he paid, the saleswoman said her goodbyes. Take care out there. He replied, I'm off. Goodbye, Chairman Bak. Bak Hongpyo also called out a warning. Be careful on your hunt. Meanwhile, his hand dropped the other potion bottle into the trash can. It was, after all, just a fool's hope. Creating a mosquito antidote really is an impossible dream. Scene change. The sounds of battle rang out through the forest as a white wolf opened its jaws and let out a ferocious roar. The system displayed a notification. Reinforced shield activated. This was followed by a voice of complaint. Why the hell would a saber-toothed lynx suddenly show up here? A woman raised her sword and shouted. She slammed her sword down and said to Park Jin-soo, "Captain, the rear is clear. We need to retreat, now." "I'm reporting in. I've been poisoned by the mosquitoes too. My body. It feels like it's about to be paralyzed." He responded while fending off a monster. "Got it. Just hold on a little longer. Once we take this thing down, it'll all be over." Suddenly, Park Jin-soo's eyes caught something. He saw several mosquitoes flying over to land on his face, and he immediately went pale with fear. A mutated mosquito? Noticing a bite on his forehead, Park Jin-soo started to worry. This is bad. If I get bitten again here, the poison will stack. My mana will completely disperse, and my body will be paralyzed. Not only that, but he was also worried about Ko-ah's current condition. If I go down in this situation, the entire team will definitely be wiped out. Park Jin-soo felt helpless and frustrated. Damn it, my shield is weakening. Don't tell me I've been poisoned too? Where did it all go wrong? We even equipped anti-insect suits because we knew this area was swarming with mosquitoes. Suddenly, he remembered what had happened earlier. That's right. A saber-toothed lynx suddenly jumped out at us in the mutated frog hunting ground. In a flash, my protective insect suit was torn to shreds. As the leader, I should have maintained better focus, but I panicked and got hit myself. After that, we were continuously bitten by mosquitoes and tried to retreat. But the lynx pack blocked our way back, forcing the whole team to fight to the death to find a way out. If only I could finish this thing right now, everyone would be saved. But is this really how it's going to end? Just then, Ko-ah suddenly cried out in panic. "Captain, behind you!" Park Jin-soo was still dazed and hadn't reacted yet, so Ko-ah screamed with a worried expression, "Captain, watch out!" Park Jin-soo was stunned for a moment. At that instant, a blade-tongued weasel lunged forward with blinding speed, its tail transforming into a sharp blade and piercing through his seemingly solid shield. The shield couldn't hold for more than a few seconds before shattering into tiny fragments. Park Jin-soo was stunned in disbelief. How is this possible? Only my shield enhancement skill shattered, but my strength is still at its peak, and my mana hasn't decreased at all. He suddenly remembered something. Could it be? Images from that morning flashed through Park Jin-soo's mind. Was the antidote from this morning really that miraculous? He stopped his train of thought and calmed himself down. I need to get it together. Then, Park Jin-soo gripped the hilt of his sword and charged forward without hesitation. If this antidote really works, his face was now full of confidence. I am more than capable of winning this. The night sky was unusually quiet. The door suddenly burst open, and a figure stepped inside, panting heavily. Director Baek Hong-pyo glanced at the person and spoke. "We're closed for the day. Is that you, Mr. Park?" Park Jin-soo quickly stated his purpose. "The antidote. The one that young man brought this morning. How much is it? Sell it all to me. I don't care how much is left. I'll buy every last drop." The next morning at Guri Market, the streets were crowded and bustling. The sounds of vendors made everything feel even more vibrant. "Dirt cheap over here. Saber-toothed lynx meat. Great for a man's vitality. Only 5 million. 1. Expert crafter of armor made from crustacean-type monster hides. Custom orders available. Prices start at just 50 million. 1. Kim Tae-joo walked along the street, looking around in amazement. "This is overwhelming. I've only ever hung around the Paju and Seoran areas, so I've never seen a market this spectacular. Everything here is so bright and busy." He couldn't help but admire his own decision. It was a wise choice to take today off to rest and create the tiger mosquito antidote. Reaching the 3-star level of the poison spirit arts is incredibly important. The brewer must be able to control their internal energy with extreme precision. Only then can one extract the precious medicinal properties from herbs and poisonous plants. Perhaps because I put so much effort into it, after leveling up to 3 stars, the toxins in my body are in a state of overload. Right now, I need to rest to stabilize myself and absorb all these toxins. Earlier, at a coffee shop, Baek Hong-pyo had eagerly proposed to him. "Let's sign the contract right away. I'll take all of this medicine." He, on the other hand, asked very calmly, "It worked very well, didn't it?" The director reined in his emotions and replied happily, "I'd say it was absolutely amazing. This potion will definitely revolutionize monster hunting in Jirisan. I'm so embarrassed that I didn't recognize your value at first and even called you a madman." Kim Tae-joo cut him off. "What did you just say?" Baek Hong-pyo also shifted the focus back to the original topic. It was nothing. "So, how many do you have available? Do you have enough to supply us?" He didn't hesitate to give a number. "I currently have about 60,000 vials on hand." Baek Hong-pyo hesitated and asked, "What if we sell all of them?" Kim Tae-joo gave a slight smile and replied casually, "Of course. I can start producing more immediately." It seemed that was all Baek Hong-pyo needed to hear as he pulled out a contract. "Excellent. This is a contract I've already drafted. I propose a purchase price of 10,000 won per vial, and will sell it on the market for 50,000 won. In return, I'll take care of all the pharmaceutical licensing procedures, as well as the patent registration for you. Kim Tae-joo couldn't help but think to himself, I probably don't need to reveal that the actual cost to make one vial is less than 100 won, right? But on the outside, he said with great enthusiasm, these terms are very beneficial for me. With this first batch, I'll bring in 3 billion won. Baek Hong-pyo was even considerate enough to explain a few of the clauses. After deducting the 10% tax, the amount you'll actually receive is 2.7 billion won. Kim Tae-joo was quite surprised by this. Only a 10% tax? The policies in these free cities are really different. He picked up the pen to sign and then said to Baek Hong-pyo, instead, let's do it this way. I'll sign a 1-year exclusive supply contract with you for a price of only 35,000 won per vial. The director quickly tried to stop him. You don't need to force your own price down like that. Kim Tae-joo suddenly brought up something else. Aren't you the one running an orphanage? Good news travels fast. Everyone knows that Baek Hong-pyo is the respected father of the orphaned children in this city of Guri. He frankly expressed his respect. I heard that you've used all the profits from your pharmacy to keep that orphanage running. I simply want to contribute a little something to help you. In return, could you help me find a suitable place to produce the medicine? Baek Hong-pyo was so moved he was on the verge of tears as he quickly replied, that's more than simple. I have an absolutely ideal location for this, right here. The two shook hands after signing the contract. Kim Tae-joo spoke first. So, everything's settled then. I look forward to working with you. On the other side, Baek Hong-pyo replied sincerely, me too. It's a pleasure. After finalizing the antidote contract and receiving a hefty deposit, I decided to stop by the famous Guri market to buy some more equipment while I had the time. As Kim Tae-joo was strolling down the crowded street, a sudden voice called out, hey, young man, want to check out some weapons? He stopped in his tracks, asking doubtfully, are you talking to me? The other man immediately started his sales pitch. That's right. My shop's the best in the area, so don't waste your time going anywhere else. Just come on in and have a look. Dong-woon flashed a handsome smile with his shiny, bald head and replied, since you're so good-looking, I'll give you a really special price. Kim Tae-joo's face paled, wanting to run away immediately. No thanks. I don't really need any weapons right now. But a hand quickly landed on his shoulder. Dong-woon was looking at Kim Tae-joo like a plump piece of meat, terrifying him. Why so cold? Just take a quick look at my wares. It doesn't cost anything to just look, so what's there to be afraid of? He coaxed. Come on. Let me guide you into my paradise of dreams and romance. Kim Tae-joo just wanted to escape. Wait a minute. But Dong-woon, with a wide grin, blocked any chance of that. Hey, just relax, or you might get hurt. Kim Tae-joo looked at the man pushing him, unable to shake his suspicion. Without any tattoos, he looks like a highly adaptable blacksmith. But where does this incredible strength come from? My body has a 3-star power level, yet he's dragging me around this easily? Could he really be a hidden master? Inside the shop, the items gleamed and sparkled. At a glance, they all seemed to be high quality. Dong-woon couldn't help but boast. What do you think? The stuff here isn't half bad, right? Kim Tae-joo humored him with a compliment. Wow, did you make all of these yourself? Dong-woon replied, pleased and proud. Who else? I told you from the start. I'm the best blacksmith in this whole city of Guri. Just then, a strange coldness flashed in Kim Tae-joo's eyes. He assessed every corner of the shop. It really wasn't just empty talk. The quality of the items here was outstanding. You really shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Without hesitation, he pulled out a piece of paper to place an order. This is great. In that case, can you make me 100 items like this? Dong-woon read through a few of the items on the list and asked, willow leaf daggers? What are these? They seem too small to be used as throwing knives. Are you planning on using these yourself? He rubbed his chin, studying the design for a moment. To be able to deal real damage when thrown, I think using mana steel would be the most suitable choice. Kim Tae-joo smiled and got straight to the point. Are you able to craft them? Dong-woon answered immediately. Of course I can. It's just that the materials are pretty scarce right now, so it'll take some time. How does that sound? Kim Tae-joo was quite satisfied with this answer. Yes, no problem. What's the total cost? The man turned back, muttering as he calculated, then said, including materials and labor. Since you're good-looking, I'll cut you a deal. Let's make it an even 250 million won. You just need to put down a 10% deposit today. Kim Tae-joo was stunned when he heard the price. A whole 250 million won for 100 single-use hidden weapons. Even though he'd expected it, this martial art was truly a money pit. I'll pay the full amount right now. After the money was exchanged, Dong-woon said his goodbyes to Kim Tae-joo. Once I finish a sample, I'll send it to your address. Goodbye for now. The young man also left quickly. Yes, thank you for your help. Kim Tae-joo walked down the street, lost in thought. So, I managed to order the willow leaf daggers more easily than I expected. The next thing I need to do is find myself a set of armor that can carry various poisons, and hidden weapons in small pouches, just like old Master Tang used to do. Or maybe I should have a traditional robe custom made? He couldn't help but imagine the stares he'd get for his strange style of dress. What kind of outfit is that? A modernized hanbok? Look at that guy. Yeah, I should just pick something a little more modern. Wearing something like that would be pretty embarrassing. Kim Tae-joo let out a sigh. A modern set of armor that could replace the function of a robe. I wonder if there's anything like that? Just then, a pleasant voice rang out. Welcome. His attention was immediately captured. A female employee in a costume was enthusiastically inviting him in. Our shop, Flame Boutique, has just released its newest collection of armor made from monster leather. Today, we're also displaying our long coat models. Please, come in and take a look. He held the flyer in his hand, reading the endless praise. A coat made from monster hide? This might be the perfect replacement for a traditional robe. Secretary Kim gave a strained laugh. I'm so scared. Miss, did you really come all this way just to find a fox fur coat? Lee Jun-hee, standing beside him with her arms crossed, immediately retorted, This isn't ordinary fox fur. It's the fur of a Siberian magic fox. She frowned as she explained, This species of fox is extremely rare and very difficult to hunt, so their pelts are considered an incredibly high-quality, rare item. Armor made from this fur not only provides solid defense, but also has the property of being cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Secretary Kim listened and praised, That's truly a rare material to find in this region. It's certainly worth spending a day off to hunt for it, isn't it? She pulled out a card and showed it off. The chairman sent me with this card for your shopping. Lee Jun-hee looked at her, then refused. Grandpa plans to buy it for me? No thanks. I have enough money to pay for it myself. Secretary Kim was full of excitement and praise. Yes, of course. Your independence is truly admirable, miss. The train announcement chimed. The next stop is Guri Market. Passengers disembarking. Please have your belongings ready. Footsteps descended the stairs. Lee Jun-hee quickly headed towards the shopping district. Let's go straight to that boutique. Secretary Kim. I'm dying to see it with my own eyes. Secretary Kim hurriedly chased after her. Yes, miss. At that moment, something caught Kim Tae-joo's eye. Eun Jae-in was in the middle of a smooth consultation. If we adjust the style of this coat just a little, like this. Kim Tae-joo walked up and cut her off. Hello, the person outside invited me in. Eun Jae-in paused her conversation. Miss, please wait a moment. Secretary Kim gently pushed up his glasses and muttered, An uninvited guest? Don't tell me he's also eyeing this coat. Eun Jae-in flashed a bright smile, stood up straight, and greeted him warmly. Welcome to Flame Boutique. The next moment, she got a clear look at Kim Tae-joo's face and recognized him. Wait a minute, are you Kim Tae-joo? The young porter from that day, right? But Kim Tae-joo was rather confused that the person in front of him knew who he was. I don't think we've ever met. Eun Jae-in didn't hesitate to explain. You really don't remember me? It only happened about a month ago. I'm the female mage who was with the party when we were attacked by those orcs. These few words jogged Kim Tae-joo's memory. You still remember me? But what are you doing here, Miss Mage? Eun smiled brightly and replied, Actually, this is my main profession. I only join subjugation parties as a side job when I have free time. I'm so glad I ran into you here. I've been looking all over for you. Kim Tae-joo started to get nervous and turned to leave. Looking for me? You went through enough trouble back then. Take care. I'll be on my way. Back then, he had given all the credit for killing the orcs to this mage. His goal was to live a quiet, hidden life in Guri. Of course, he knew that once she woke up, the truth would come out sooner or later, but he even had a plan to move somewhere else. If that situation arose, it would be best for him to scram before she started asking questions about the past. But life is never that easy. Eun Jae-in quickly grabbed his arm. Please, wait a moment. Then, she looked Kim Tae-joo straight in the eye and asked seriously, You were the one who saved my life back then, weren't you? At the Nogadon Guild, they kept pressing me, asking if I had single-handedly taken down the orcs and then collapsed from mana exhaustion. At the time, I vaguely guessed, you must have had your own reasons for saying that, and I decided to keep your secret for you. Kim Tae-joo immediately denied it, an involuntary shudder running through him. You must have misunderstood something. How could a hired porter possibly kill an orc? I was unconscious at the time, too. She tried to remain calm and said, To be honest, I don't know what your motives were, but I'm incredibly grateful for your help. Thanks to you, I was able to bring back the bodies of my captain and my comrade for a proper burial. Eun Jae-in bowed her head, her voice starting to tremble. I'm truly, very grateful. The situation left Kim Tae-joo flustered as well. How am I supposed to handle this? He broke out in a cold sweat at this unexpected turn of events. It was true that he had fought to save their lives back then. However, he also wanted to take the opportunity to test his own strength. Miss Mage, please calm down a little. Kim Tae-joo subconsciously asked himself, does someone like me really deserve such deep gratitude from her? Eun Jae-in gently wiped her tears and smiled. I'm so sorry for unintentionally putting my benefactor in such an awkward position. Just then, Secretary Kim's annoyed voice cut in. Hey, you there. How long are you going to make our young lady wait? Eun Jae-in immediately turned around, flustered. I apologize. Without warning, she suddenly knelt on the ground. Young lady Lee Jeon-hee. Her next statement made Kim Tae-joo jump. I am truly sorry, but the coat you just selected can no longer be sold. Hearing this, he glanced to one side. That coat? Secretary Kim's face immediately flushed with anger. What the hell are you talking about? Are you messing with us? All the measurements have been taken and we were about to pay, and now you're saying it's not for sale? Do you have any idea how many important things the young lady had to postpone just to come all the way here? Eun Jae-in put on a pitiful, pleading expression. I understand that completely. However, the most valuable item I currently own is that very coat the young lady wishes to have. A minute ago, I could have sold it, but now, it has another, more important purpose. Her words made he fall silent for a moment. I will provide adequate compensation to the young lady. Once again, I sincerely apologize. Secretary Kim glared as if about to make a threat. So you're absolutely refusing to sell it, is that it? Just then, Lee Jeon-hee raised a hand to stop her. That's enough. Without any hesitation, she walked out of the store. Let's go. Secretary Kim was startled by her decision. Young lady! Secretary Kim huffed in frustration as she followed. Wait, are you just going to let it go that easily? Weren't you very pleased with it? In contrast, Lee Jeon-hee walked calmly beside her. It's fine. That item is needed for something else now. After a long moment of scratching his face, Kim Tae-joo finally spoke. They were VIP customers, right? It seems I've caused you quite a bit of trouble. Eun Jae-in smiled and gestured to him. It's no problem at all. If anyone should be apologizing, it's me, for making you witness all that. You were pretty surprised, weren't you? Kim Tae-joo hesitated, then asked. But still, why did you suddenly decide not to sell that coat? Eun Jae-in couldn't help but laugh. People must often tell you that you're a bit dense, huh? Kim Tae-joo stared, surprised. Not really. You're the first person to say that. His words, in turn, astonished Eun Jae-in just as much. No way. It's clear he still hasn't figured it out. She looked at the young man before her with a fond expression. That coat, I intend to give it to you. Kim Tae-joo was bewildered by her statement. What? What do you mean? Eun Jae-in reached out to straighten the coat and said, I want to use this coat, this silver fox fur coat, to repay you for saving my life. He didn't hesitate to refuse immediately. No, I can't accept such an expensive gift. The truth is, I didn't save you purely out of kindness. It was just a coincidence. Eun Jae-in covered her mouth, unable to stop her laughter. What does it matter what your motive was back then? The most important thing is that I'm still alive, and I received your help. Then, she gave him a sorrowful look. If you still feel guilty, then try to save many more people in the future, so that no one else has to needlessly sacrifice their life like my comrade did. Kim Tae-joo lowered his eyes and sighed internally. This was the first time in his life someone had thanked him so sincerely. Before, he had been so used to criticism and contempt from everyone. To be honest, this situation made him feel a little pressured, because helping her hadn't been a purely selfless act. A faint smile touched the corners of his lips. But this feeling, it really wasn't bad at all. After that, he no longer refused. All right, if you're that insistent, I will gratefully accept this kind gesture. Eun Jae-in's mood quickly brightened. Hearing you say that is such a relief. Come on, let's go inside and get your measurements. Hurry up. In the celestial realm, a figure lay leisurely in midair and let out a sigh. He chewed on a blade of grass and grumbled. What the hell is this so-called celestial realm, anyway? Zhang Sanfeng, the sword immortal, was unbelievably bored. With nothing to do, he was practically dying of boredom. He started thinking about some of the people he'd met. They all looked exactly the same style of clothing, flowing white hair, long, graceful beards, just a bunch of old fogies. People said the accent colors on their robes were different though. That old man said so himself. Seriously. But wait, I don't even have hair, do I? Zhang Sanfeng suddenly remembered something. That other guy seemed a little different. That fellow from the Tang Clan also came here from the martial world, but he was the only one who stood out. He recalled the appearance of Tang Jiu-e. For some reason, he started adopting styles from another world. All sorts of strange fashion, a neatly trimmed beard, and he even hand-sewed clothes I'd never seen before. When he first arrived, he couldn't adapt, but I wonder if he's gone mad now. Or maybe they called him the Poison Demon back in the martial world, but his true nature is that of a mad demon? I'm so bored. Maybe I should ask that Tang Clan guy to teach me how to sew. He started imagining it in his head. If I changed my appearance a little, life might be less tedious. And honestly, two madmen together would definitely be more interesting than him being mad all by himself. Zhang Sanfeng automatically crossed his arms and nodded. Decision made. I'll go find him right now. He reached inside his robe, wanting to grab something. If I bring this valuable gift, he'll surely agree to teach me. Then, a large, round, juicy peach appeared in his hand. It was a celestial peach from the heavenly path of the immortal realm in Guri City. Meanwhile, at the Bake Orphanage, the empty stairwells looked somewhat desolate. Inside a room labeled B2F, a hand dipped into a green liquid. Kim Tae-joo watched the results intently, pleased. Perfect. The results are excellent. He then touched a device on his ear. A moment later, a calm voice with a hint of excitement came through. Yes, Mr. Kim Tae-joo. This is Bae Kong Pyo. Hello, boss. The formulation of the pure solution is complete. Bae Kong Pyo, who was on the phone, was also happy for him. That's a huge relief to hear. The warehouse stock is almost depleted. When can you send more? This shocked Kim Tae-joo on the other end. What? I just sent a batch yesterday. It's already gone that fast? He immediately explained. Rumors of the medicine's miraculous effects have spread far and wide. People are flocking here in droves. It's chaos. Hey, how dare that guy cut in line? The scalping and hoarding situation is extremely serious. The product disappears the moment we put it out. Park Jin-soo was directing the team in the store. Hurry up and pack more. The replies were sparse. Yes, team leader, I told you, just grab everything. Kim Tae-joo then spoke up to intervene. Wait a minute. He proposed an optimal solution, put up a notice saying that the supply will remain stable, and at the same time, limit each person to a maximum of 2 bottles. Kim Tae-joo considered his own stock of medicine. In the long run, maybe, but right now, that's impossible. Even if counterfeit drugs appear later, we can always switch to producing and selling something else. In his mind, he automatically added the next part. I'm just saying that. But, without using the secret art of the poison spirit to create it, no one could possibly replicate it anyway. The person on the other end of the line quickly agreed. I understand. I'll implement that right away. But with this insane level of demand, I'm afraid counterfeit products will appear sooner than we expect. Will that be okay with you? Kim Tae-joo replied calmly. It's fine. Just let that happen. Hearing this, Bae Kong Pyo responded. All right, I'll try to hold out by regulating the sales volume. I'll be counting on you for the delivery. Just then, Kim Tae-joo suddenly spoke up. Wait, boss. When is the packaging machine going to be installed? He glanced wearily at the mountain of medicine piled up in front of him. Lately, the bottling process is taking even more time than production. Just today, I had to personally bottle 20,000 of them by hand. Boss, do you realize I haven't even had time to crawl back to my dorm for a whole week? The man on the other end chuckled and replied, I know. I'll get that sorted out soon. Elsewhere, a sweet voice called out, Big brother, don't go in there. They say there's a ghost inside. A moment later, her companion shot back. Be quiet. What ghost could possibly be in there? I already told you. There's just some old beggar living here. I'm definitely going to kick him out. The adorable little girl had a clear look of worry on her face. But what if it's a real ghost and not a beggar? The boy turned to reassure her. It's not. It's just some bum who took over our secret base. Just then, the closed door creaked open on its own. Look, the door's opening. The darkness within was gradually revealed, along with strange wisps of purple smoke. Kim Tae-joo emerged with a murderous look on his face, carrying the shipment in several boxes. He tilted his head, and with a bizarrely smiling mask on, he said, Hello there. This sight immediately scared the 2 children out of their wits. The boy, who had been acting so tough just a moment ago, was the first to take off running. It's a stinky ghost. Behind him, the panicked little girl chased after. Big brother, wait for me. Kim Tae-joo took off his mask and put his hands on his hips, feeling helpless. Now that's hurtful. I just finished all that hard work, packaging everything to come outside, only to be called a stinky ghost by a couple of kids. He then raised his arm to take a sniff. It's true, I haven't showered all week, but could I really smell that bad? The image of his boss's tear-streaked face flashed through Kim Tae-joo's mind. Oh, Mr. Kim, please, you have to help me. Someone just quit in the middle of their shift. Please, could you fill in for them? He let out an inward sigh. Now, what am I supposed to do? If I want to make my appointment with the boss on time, I have to leave right now. Or, should I just risk taking a shower and be a little late? Just then, a voice called out from in front of him. You're Kim Tae-joo, right? A pair of feet in high heels stepped in front of him. It was Sion, carrying a box, with the 2 kids from before behind her. She said, I've heard about you from my father. He said you're working with him on the antidote business. Kim Tae-joo also confirmed it. Yes, I'm Kim Tae-joo. And you are? She looked at the young man before her and introduced herself. It's nice to meet you. I'm Baek Sion, from the Bake Orphanage. Sion lowered her gaze as she explained, My younger siblings kept going on and on about the ghost in the basement, so I came down to see for myself. Kim Tae-joo froze for a second. then resignedly accepted his fate. A ghost, huh? I get it. Sion held out the cardboard box in her hands. And I also came to deliver this to you. He took it with a bright smile. MX Weapon Shop. Is this the prototype? I really needed this. Thanks a lot, Miss Seon. His smile made Seon blush. Well then. I hope you'll continue to have a good working relationship with my father. She then took her siblings by the hand, turned to leave, and added, and remember to stop by the first-floor bathroom to get cleaned up before you go. Let's go, kids. Kim Tae-joo politely said his goodbyes. All right. See you later. He quickly opened the crate to take a look. Huh, a piece of paper? Kim Tae-joo unconsciously smiled as he considered it. Maybe I should read this before I shower. The willow leaf saber of this generation. I really have high hopes for it. In his mind, he pictured Dong-woon pouting cutely. My friend, this is just a sample. Try it out and remember to give me feedback if anything seems off, okay? The memories that automatically replayed in his head made him both angry and scared, and he hurriedly tore the paper to shreds. Then, Kim Tae-joo reached in to grab a few items for inspection. He was quite satisfied with these weapons. At the very least, this thing looks pretty decent. Its sharpness and sturdiness were flawless. Kim Tae-joo casually practiced a few basic moves, since this willow leaf saber was so well made. Then he tucked the weapon into his coat with a sense of anticipation. So now I'm looking forward to the finished coat more than ever. Previously, Eun Jae-in had given him her one-of-a-kind jacket. I'm giving it to you, no charge. I'll call when it's done. See you later. Kim Tae-joo cursed himself. No, I can't do that. Now that I'm earning money, I have to pay for it fairly. He hurried outside. There wasn't much time left. He had to get a move on. But first, I need to take a shower. The Spirit Beast boundary zone at Jirisan Mountain was a deep, lush forest. Inside, a team was taking a temporary rest. Kim Tae-joo arrived just in time and called out, Hello, boss. Oh, Mr. Oh, replied cheerfully. Mr. Kim, you're here. He put on an apologetic expression for him. I'm so sorry. Am I the last one to arrive? Has everyone been waiting long? Mr. O replied without any blame. It's fine. You're right on time. We just got here ourselves. Thank you for accepting my invitation on such short notice. Kim Tae-joo smiled brightly and replied, Don't be a stranger. You've helped me so much. This is the least I can do. Suddenly, a loud voice rang out. Hey, you. The man approaching carried a katana and looked furious. Damn it. Don't you even have the decency to come over here and apologize? Kang Dae-ok looked over unfriendlily, watching the scene the two of them were making. Well, look at you two pals. Is this some kind of social club or what? Beginner rank member of the Kwangdong-sok raid team, Kang Dae-ok. Kim Tae-joo didn't back down and shot back. You're way out of line. I wasn't late for the appointed time, so why should I have to apologize? The man immediately put on a thuggish, threatening expression. Look at this little punk, talking back to me? A porter without even a single tattoo must be some kind of nobody. Where'd you get the nerve to act so high and mighty? Huh, maybe I should slice you up a few times before you learn to open your mouth and say, I'm sorry. Kim Tae-joo's entire body radiated killing intent as he sized up the man before him with unfriendly eyes. What a pain. What's wrong with this guy? Is he deliberately trying to pick a fight? I seriously want to kill him. Now I understand why I had to come here in place of someone else. No wonder everyone else ran for the hills. Mr. O was forced to step in and calm him down. Mr. Kim, I'll compensate you later. The penalty for breaking this contract is huge, so we can't let this fall through. Even if he's intentionally provoking you, please just bear with it for my sake. I'm counting on you. Kang Dae-ok, feeling emboldened, pushed his taunts even further. What's wrong? Is the bladesmith scared? Why aren't you talking as tough as you were a moment ago? Kim Tae-joo gritted his teeth in anger, deciding to swallow his pride for now. Fine. I'm used to this. I'll just endure it one more time. I'm sorry. A voice cut in before the situation could escalate further. Kang Dae-ok, that's enough. Let's move out before we're late. Kang Dae-ok turned to leave, not forgetting a final show of dominance. Consider yourself lucky. I was about to gut you like a fish. Mr. O asked sheepishly, Are you okay? I'm really sorry about that, Kim Tae-joo replied, not holding a grudge. Yeah, it's nothing, the team leader shouted. Everyone's here, let's move out. It was only then that Kim Tae-joo was startled as he looked at the team composition. What? We're going on a raid with only 7 people? For a raid of the scale, Boss O mentioned, we should need at least 15 people. He couldn't help but ask, Excuse me, are we really going in with such a small number of people? Even if the current trend is to downsize thanks to the mosquito antidote, this is still way too few. The man noticed his concern and replied, Yeah, that's what they said. Today's hunting ground is the Blade Weasel's territory. Before, we needed a lot of people because of the mosquitoes, but now we have the antidote. We don't need to wear those cumbersome insect repellent suits anymore, so the numbers have been reduced. He then held out a very familiar vial of medicine. though it is a bit concerning. But with 2 beginner-rank warriors, there probably won't be any major issues. Don't worry too much. Drink up. I prepared a dose just for you. Kim Tae-joo forced a smile and thought to himself, thanks, boss. The energy I now possess has created a new change. Just then, Eun Jae-in's sincere words echoed in his mind. If this truly bothers you, then in the future, try to save more people so they don't have to die needlessly like my comrades did. Kim Tae-joo held the vial he'd just received and thought, now that the number of deaths from mosquito venom during hunts has decreased, just as she wished, I've been able to save so many lives with my own energy, and this very power is gradually changing who I am. A cold observation came from him. What a pain. What's wrong with this guy? Is he doing this on purpose? I really want to kill him. This is the second time since meeting this crew. I can't suppress the killing intent inside me. Should I just go ahead and kill them all? A fleeting thought crossed his mind. The reason for this is probably the influence of the poison demon, Elder Tang. He always prioritized eliminating those he hated over letting them survive. And ever since our souls were shared, his venomous mind has begun to synchronize with my own. This isn't necessarily a bad change. Before, I was too weak to survive in this world. Kim Tae-joo suddenly spoke to Mr. O. Boss, during this entire hunt, make sure you stay right beside me. Mr. O was quite surprised and tried to refuse. That might be a little. Even if those guys are a bit nasty, wouldn't it be safer to stay near an awakened one than next to a powerless porter? Thinking he was joking, Kim Tae-joo warned him, stop kidding around. I'm being serious. Mr. O immediately defended himself. I'm not joking. Kim Tae-joo could feel a dangerous presence emanating from deep within the forest. I've been sensing something lurking deep in these woods for a while now. That's right. It's an extremely ferocious killing intent aimed directly at us. The martial world of the Central Plains, the Jiu-e clan. A foot stepped onto thin air. Jegal Chun clutched his injured arm and took a breath. He inhaled deeply and then roared, what the hell do you think you're doing? How dare you attack me? Are you insane? The head of the Jegal family, Jegal Chun. A deep, hoarse laugh echoed, you're far too arrogant. Jegal Chun. Or should I say, Jegal Chun. The fact that you and your family sold your souls to the demonic cult has already been brought to light. Standing beneath the swords, Jegal Chun remained defiant. This is clearly slander. We are one of the 5 great families. Why would we ever do such a thing? The other person waved his hand forward and continued, you scum from the demonic cult always use the same denial. This is it. Seeing this, his eyes widened and his body trembled violently. Tang Jiu-e slowly descended. Why don't you try saying hello to your precious son? He was busy slaughtering innocent civilians, all to collect blood essence to refine a blood demon pill. I personally escorted him back here, right in the middle of his evil deeds. So, do you still want to call this slander? Jegal Chun, your kind is what I despise most in this world. Cowards who use the weak as shields just to save their own lives. Jegal Chun trembled in fear. Please spare my life. I'm willing to reveal everything I know about the heavenly demon. He didn't care and began his attack. Enough. Too many of our brothers from the righteous sects have died senselessly because of people like you. And so, Tang Jiu-e sneered, his gaze sharp. Get out of my sight. He clenched his fist, and a barrage of swords rained down. I'll be sending that heavenly demon to join you soon enough. The merciless swords pierced Jegal Chun. Go to hell. Daybreak, in a clearing in the forest. If it weren't for all that protective gear, we wouldn't even have to worry about a pack of weasels. I was thinking the exact same thing. Kang Dae-ok looked at the stones in his hand with glee, seeing the amount of energy crystals he'd collected. Hey, earlier you were loudly asking why so few people came, but now you're quiet as a mouse? The lower class is always scared. No wonder this guy's only fit to be a porter his entire life. Mr. O quickly patted Kim Tae-joo on the chest to placate him. We're truly sorry, right, Mr. Kim? He glared at them, thinking to himself. Come to think of it, the only reason they could finish that hunt was because of my antidote. Maybe I should just finish them off right here and now? After all, these guys are as good as dead anyway. No, I should hold back. I can't let scum like this be the first to taste my ultimate flying dagger technique. Thanks to my antidote, just 2 novices and 3 compatible ranked members were able to take down an entire pack of stone weasels. Kim Tae-joo suddenly thought of something, but his gaze shifted to the bushes. I wonder if they'll be able to handle that? Kim Tae-joo turned his face to look at him. Sir, it's about to begin. Just as I told you when we set out, you must stay right by my side. Hearing this, Mr. O asked, Huh? That again? What on earth is about to begin? He quickly replied, It's nothing too special. Just something rather famous for its unpredictable danger here on Mount Jiri. It's a monster ambush. His face turned pale, and sweat rolled down his cheek. A monster charged forward, making Mr. O scream. It was a red-furred wolf. Kwon Dong-sok was also stunned. What? Kim Tae-joo calmly took off his backpack. Don't panic. Nothing bad is going to happen to us. Please hold this for a moment. Mr. Oh said urgently. Mr. Kim, what the hell are you talking about? We have to get out of here now. He looked towards it and thought to himself. A red-furred wolf. A cunning spirit beast that requires at least a mid-rank hunter to handle. While Kim Tae-joo was analyzing the situation, one of the group members was devoured. Its strength is one problem, but the more worrying thing is that they always hunt in male-female pairs. He heard a scream and quickly turned to call out, Song-chun, damn it, there's another one lurking. As Kang Dae-ok rushed forward to attack, the person behind him shouted, Brother, die! The wolf nimbly leaped back to dodge his slash. Kwon Dong-suk looked behind it in a panic. It dodged the attack? Damn it! Kwon Dong-suk, what do we do now? Give the order. Seeing this, another person turned tail and ran. Hey, you son of a bitch. Where do you think you're going? Leaving me behind. The girl behind him urged frantically, Honey, we're done for. It's hopeless. There are two of them. Kang Dae-ok shouted angrily, Shut your mouth. We'll stick to the old plan. Just throw that trashy porter out as bait like last time. Then we'll use the chance to escape. Mr. Oh, still flustered, spoke to Kim Tae-joo. Mr. Kim, can't you show us a little something? Anything at all will do. The situation is terrible. We're counting on you and you alone. He reached into his clothes and pulled out a dagger. I'll show you something right now. Kim Tae-joo quickly used his technique, throwing the dagger at the wolves. Secret art of the flying dagger, 1-point flash. A great pillar of wind quickly appeared as the dagger shot forward with incredible speed, a swirling gale forming around it. The man quickly tilted his head to dodge, and the dagger thudded into a large rock behind him. A loud scream rang out, scaring a flock of birds into flight. Mr. Oh was even more astonished, unable to speak. What in the world just happened? Kim Tae-joo pointed and spoke. One of you callously abandons their comrades, while the other plans to throw the weakest porter to the beasts to be eaten, one of the group members screamed. Please! A murderous aura erupted from him, his eyes flashing red. I despise people like you the most. Cowards who trample on the weak, using them as shields just to save their own pathetic lives. Kang Dae-ok trembled, clutching the side of his head. My ear. It hurt so much. His eyes widened at the scene before him. Kwon Dong-suk spoke in disbelief. The wolf is dead? When did it die? Mr. Oh asked, his voice trembling slightly. Mr. Kim. No, Sir Kim Tae-joo, how did you manage to take down the wolf in a single blow like that? The other wolf angrily whipped its head around to look at them. Kim Tae-joo took slow, authoritative steps forward. If you know what's good for you, shut your mouths. I'm in a very bad mood right now. If you dare move even an inch, I'll send you to meet your ancestors. Hey, let me ask you something. Do you always act like this? Whenever you're in danger or at a disadvantage, you just throw the weak to the wolves and run to save yourselves, right? Even though he was exposed, Kang Dae-ok still tried to argue. So what? It's only natural for small fry like that to be sacrificed for the life of an awakened one. After hearing him, he calmly replied, Oh, so that's how it is? Kim Tae-joo slowly glanced at the man. In that case, perhaps you all should get a taste of that feeling for yourselves. He quickly leaped onto a nearby cliff. Kim Tae-joo scowled down below. Go on. Fight it. Hearing this, the two cried out in alarm. What? He sat down, crossed his legs, and added, I've already taken care of one. The other one is your share. Clutching his wound, the man struggled to get up. What the hell are you talking about? Do you really think you can walk away from this after daring to touch an awakened? Seeing this, the woman behind them screamed, Please, I'm begging you. Please kill it for us. I'll pay you anything you want. You're so strong. The man spun around angrily. Shut your mouth, you crazy bitch. A swift whoosh of air shot past them both. Kim Tae-joo spoke in a cold voice. Since you don't seem to understand human language, I suppose you don't need those ears anymore, do you? Let me say this one last time. I am just a porter. You are the warriors. What happened to all that overwhelming confidence you had while hunting those weasels earlier? So, go fight on your own. Kim Tae-joo stared down with piercing eyes. You will fight. Kang Dae-ok, clutching his ear, looked up and asked, What? You think we're just going to meekly obey you? Hearing that, he replied, It seems you have other plans. He gripped his sword tightly and shouted, Damn it, spread out. But before he could react, the wolf smashed its paw into Kang Dae-ok's face. His head was instantly torn from his neck. The other man trembled, holding his wound. My ear. You porter, I swear I'll kill you. The monster quickly closed in on him and opened its slobbering maw. With one swift bite, the wolf swallowed the man whole. What are you all standing there for? Run! With a glint of hunger in its eyes, it chased after them. The woman froze, paralyzed by the sight of its razor-sharp fangs. Before she could say a word, the wolf lunged and tore the person in front of her to shreds. Its body was now enveloped in a murderous aura. Its cold, red eyes scanned the area. The wolf growled, its mouth dripping with saliva. Down below, a terrified On-oh cried out, "Mr. Kim, that monster is heading toward me." Up on the cliff, Kim Tae-joo's expression darkened. "If you had left earlier, I would have spared your life. You must have gotten more confident after easily dealing with that trash, haven't you? But I already showed you the clear difference in our strength." In a flash, he leaped from the cliff. "If you're going to be this stubborn, I have no choice." Kim Tae-joo raised his hand, unleashing his power. "Then you will have to die here." A wave of power rapidly closed in on the twin-headed poison blood wolf. A massive explosion roared, sending rocks and leaves flying as a pillar of light shot straight up into the sky. On-oh was once again left stunned. He didn't have a tattoo. At most, I thought he was just a compatible, but I never expected him to be this powerful. Why would someone like that be working as a porter? Could it be that Mr. Kim was the one who defeated the ORC last time, and not that mage? He clearly said it was the mage. Was he lying to hide his true abilities? Kim Tae-joo calmly brushed himself off. After spending so much time just making medicine, it feels refreshing to get some real exercise. He was lost in his thoughts. Then what about me? What will happen to the one who witnessed this whole scene? He walked over and asked, "Boss, are you okay?" On-oh suddenly fell to his knees and begged, "Please, spare my life." "Excuse me?" Kim Tae-joo scratched his head, confused. "Oh my, why would I do anything to you, boss?" On-oh looked up, clutching his head. "Really?" he quickly added. "Please get up. Are you injured anywhere?" The man got up and approached Kim Tae-joo. "No, of course not. Even if I were hurt, I would say I'm fine." He held up his index finger. "That's a relief. Then, could I ask you for a favor?" The man clenched his fists and said in a firm voice, "Please, just give the order. I will do as you say." Kim Tae-joo's expression suddenly shifted. "About what happened today?" On-oh's panic immediately returned. "What happened? I didn't see a thing." The conversation quickly returned to normal. "Thank you. Shall we go down now? Let's get a move on." Blood-soaked bodies lay sprawled on the ground. He glanced back, lost in thought. "The monsters will take care of these bodies, won't they? Just like that time on Mount Seorak. Wow, it's unusually cold today. Even though I didn't kill them with my own hands, I led them to their deaths, and yet, I don't feel any remorse. As the Peerless Poison Demon, I will destroy anyone who dares to use the weak as shields to save their own lives." At the E-Pharmaceuticals headquarters in Guri City, inside the meeting room, a hand slammed down on the table as someone shouted, "This is unbelievable. Our sales have been cut in half. It's all because of that Kim Tae-joo bastard and the Bak family's pharmacy. Ever since that antidote was released, everyone has been flocking to Bak's pharmacy and buying all their other medicines there as well. Now we're just sitting here swatting flies. Damn it, we should have gotten rid of that little corner store pharmacy ages ago." He looked up and spoke. "Everyone knows that. This was Onam Bak, the owner of SJP Pharmacy. Out of about 200 pharmacies in Guri, we control 70%. The rest belongs to Cheonwang Pharmaceuticals. Bak's pharmacy is the only one no one has been able to touch. You all know why, don't you?" Seeing this, another man retorted, "It's because of that self-governing committee. That damned committee always stops us from touching Baek Hongpyo because he takes in orphans. It's ridiculous that we have to tiptoe around him." This was Lee Jae-ho, owner of the Guri Nuri Pharmacy. Oh Nam-bok crossed his arms and sighed. "If you know that already, then stop complaining and come up with a solution instead. We're all busy people here, so stop putting on a show." Lee Jae-ho suddenly yelled, "What? You son of a bitch!" Another man quickly clapped his hands to intervene. Now, let's all calm down. Why do you two fight every time we meet?" This was Jo Hun-suk, the executive director of E-Pharmaceuticals. "Let's stop feeling each other out. Let's hear the progress from each side. Aren't we all in the same boat here? Our side has failed." The two immediately turned to object. Guri Nuri couldn't replicate the drug either. It was the same for SJP. "I see. I heard Chang Bio failed as well." Oh Nam-bok gritted his teeth and said, "We'll be able to do it soon. It's a problem we can solve, sooner or later." Lee Jae-ho slammed his hand on the table again. "Everyone knows that, but the problem is now. If we just wait around, we'll go bankrupt." Jo Hun-suk loosened his tie with a smirk. "If that's the case, then there's no other option. Although the self-governing committee is an obstacle, let's just use the old method we've always used." The other man grinned in response. "It's been a while since we used that method." As expected of Director Joe, "I was waiting for you to give that order." Lee Jae-ho reached out and pressed a button under the table. "Take a look at this." An image popped up showing the name of the antidote's developer, Kim Tae-joo, 29 years old, eldest son of Brigadier General Kim Woong-bang of the Paju region, recently discharged from the military. The man was stunned. "Wait a minute, Mr. Kim is a master rank. Doesn't that mean this kid has an insane family background? I can't believe he's the son of a master." He waved his hand with a smile and explained, That guy is no big shot. That's just surface-level information. The really important stuff is right here. According to a source from Paju, although his father is a master, he himself is incapable of absorbing mana. There's intel that he joined the army because he was kicked out of his house. His biological mother is dead, and Mr. Kim's current wife is Honda Mitsui, who is of Japanese descent. She has 2 children of her own and is desperate to get rid of Kim Tae-joo. Lee Jae-ho laughed out loud and added, I get it. A classic story. He must have cut ties with his family then, right? Jo Hun-suk's expression suddenly darkened. That's right, so I plan to go meet him first. Whatever Baek Hong-pyo promised him, we can still secure the business rights if we offer a higher price. And what if he refuses? Then we'll just proceed with the usual plan. It's been a while since we've seen some bloodshed. The Samhan Empire, the Jiu'e Mountain Monster Defense Corps, under the direct command of the Royal Army. A voice echoed from inside the room, come in. The person, receiving the order, quickly entered. Sir, have you finished the investigation? The man quickly presented a stack of documents. Yes, I've obtained information from the Guri Autonomous Committee. Kim Tae-joo, male, 29 years old, from Paju, was an officer in the Seorak Mountain Unit before his discharge. He is incapable of absorbing mana. Oh Jin-hyung glanced down. So he's Brigadier General Kim's son. I'd heard rumors that his children couldn't use mana. In the past, when the army requested supplies from us, we were rejected due to a shortage. We gave up back then because the Emperor's decree made it difficult to interfere in Guri's affairs. But this is fortunate. Since he's Brigadier General Kim's son and has served in the military, things might go smoothly. He placed his hand on the files on the table. If we can acquire the antidote, we can carry out a large-scale monster extermination campaign before the Jiu'e monster wave hits. They're father and son, aren't they? Unless they've disowned each other, we'll definitely secure the supply. Lieutenant General Oh Jin-hyung, the master rank commander of the Jiu'e Mountain Monster Defense Corps, contact the Paju region immediately and tell them that Oh Jin-hyung wishes to speak with Brigadier General Kim within the Paju territory. Inside, a luxurious room. Yes, I understand the situation. The phone was quickly put down. A voice came from a distance. It seems everyone is born with at least one talent, huh? When did our little Kim Tae-joo learn all this? He was always so frail, we couldn't even send him to college. Let's prepare to head straight to Guri. I'll book the train tickets now. Kim Tae-joo has very little real-world experience. Now that he suddenly has a lot of money, he could easily be scammed by the wrong people. Kim Woong-bang rested his chin on his hand, his expression icy. Just leave him be. Mitsui angrily planted her hands on her hips. What? What did you just say? He turned his face away and replied, I said, leave him alone. His name has already been removed from this family's register anyway. He flew the coop a long time ago. Her anger grew, but she forced a smile. Oh, come on. The family register is one thing, but how can you sever blood ties so easily? Kim Woong-bang whipped around and yelled, that's enough. If you have any conscience left, then stop this right now. Conscience? Mitsui thought to herself with a jolt. Could that old man have found out that I had that person assassinated? Impossible. Even if he did know, it wouldn't matter. Kang In-dong is dead now, so there's no evidence left. She gathered all her strength and screamed. Then, at the very least, you should give him a call. Tell him to supply the antidote to the military. They promised to help you during your promotion review if you could persuade him. How much longer do you think my father in Kyushu can support this Paju region? Even Kyushu is facing a lot of difficulties right now. Taebong, Daechun, Taeyun, and Taeyeon's tuition is already a struggle. What will happen to their futures? Is Kim Tae-joo your only son or something? His hands slowly clenched together. Then you can go and ask Kim Tae-joo yourself. Kim Woong-bang glanced at her. I've already made it clear to you. I will not do it. Mitsui was rendered speechless and could only grit her teeth in frustration. She turned and stormed away. Fine. You can act all high and mighty and do whatever you want. I'll handle this my own way. The door slammed shut with a loud bang. Only then did he allow himself to relax. It had been months without any news. I thought the boy had passed away, but it seems he's living quite well in Guri. An unconscious, faint smile appeared on Kim Woong-bang's face. Seeing that he can live the rest of his life in a meaningful way, that puts my mind at ease. At a marketplace in Guri, bustling with people. Inside a luxury shop, clothes were hung in neat rows. Eun Jae-in spoke up. Just as I predicted. She smiled faintly at Kim Tae-joo. This outfit looks incredible on you. He looked at himself in the mirror and replied, thank you. A jacket crafted from monster byproducts really was on a whole different level. It was unbelievably light, yet it still provided high defense and could regulate temperature. I also appreciate you dyeing it gray to make it less conspicuous, just as I requested. The spacious storage compartments you added also make me very happy. Eun Jae-in asked, puzzled, I'm just curious. What do you plan to store that requires so many compartments? Kim Tae-joo got flustered and quickly replied, oh, just to store some odds and ends. I can't just accept such a precious item without paying for it. How much do I owe you? Not at all. This is payment for saving my life, so please, just accept it. But you gave me an item that another customer had already ordered. That must have caused you a lot of trouble. She smiled and held up her hands. If you're talking about Miss Lee Jeon-hee, it's fine. I managed to negotiate with her and sent her a different item instead. He crossed his arms, nodding thoughtfully. Kim Tae-joo quickly pointed to another section. In that case, I'll buy all the merchandise from here to there. She was stunned and asked again, I'm sorry, what did you say? He held up a black card and smiled brightly. These items would make great gifts for the kids at the orphanage, and it'll help boost your sales. Ma'am, if you would, please ring all of them up for me. Eun Jae-in crossed her arms, looking pleased. If you've made up your mind, then I understand. I'll go pack them up. Please wait just a moment. Kim Tae-joo watched her gather the pile of clothes and thought to himself, she's definitely a completely different type of awakened being compared to the trash I've met before. She's a genuinely good person. The door suddenly opened, the doorbell rang, and Jo Hun-suk walked in from outside. So, you were here. Mr. Kim Tae-joo. I've gone to great lengths to find you. The sound of his shoes clacked on the wooden floor. He approached cordially to introduce himself. It's a great pleasure to finally meet you. I am Jo Hun-suk, the director of E Pharmaceuticals. Seeing this, Kim Tae-joo's expression suddenly darkened. Jo Hun-suk quickly put his business card back in his pocket. Oh dear, it seems my sudden appearance has made you uncomfortable. He stood at a distance from the man. At least you're self-aware, huh? Why are you here, and how did you manage to find my location? Jo Hun-suk just kept smiling as he spoke. There isn't a single thing in this city of Gurye that our pharmaceutical association doesn't know about. I'll get straight to the point. I want to ask you for a favor. I hope you'll supply our side with that nasal antidote as well. Kim Tae-joo let out a sigh and asked back, is this a request or a threat? The man shrugged and replied, for now, it's a request. Hearing that, he answered bluntly, I refuse. Jo Hun-suk immediately offered an incentive to persuade him. We will cover the entire contract termination penalty for you. In addition, we will pay 3 times the price that Pharmacy B is offering. He looked displeased again and turned away. I'm fine, thanks. I have no desire to become a man who breaks his word. Hearing this, the man quickly said, then at least sell us the formula. I will pay you 5 billion hun. Kim Tae-joo didn't answer, but asked a question instead. If you were in my position, Director Joe, would you sell it for such a paltry sum? Jo Hun-suk's anger grew, and he gritted his teeth. It seems you still don't grasp the situation. It will be very difficult for you to do business peacefully in Gurye if you continue like this. Kim Tae-joo calmly continued. Don't worry about me. I know how to take care of myself. Watch your step on the way out. Seeing the two of them, UD spoke up and asked, don't you have a guest? He smiled and said to her, just a salesman. I've already politely shown him the door. The man stepped outside and picked up his phone. You stubborn bastard. You will definitely regret this decision. The other end of the line picked up quickly. Yes, boss. He glanced at the phone and gave an order, let's get to work. Proceed in the usual way. In the suburbs of Gurye City, at the construction site of Kim Tae-joo's villa, bags were piled on top of each other. He smiled happily and held them out. Sir, I'm here. Hearing his voice, Baek Hong-pyo turned to look. You're here? What are you carrying so many bags for? Kim Tae-joo explained as he walked over. You've always helped me out, so please consider this a small token of my gratitude. I bought some clothes for the children. The man suddenly trembled, a tear rolling down his cheek. Baek Hong-pyo quickly took all the bags and thanked him. Mr. Kim Tae-joo, you truly are a living saint. I will engrave this kindness in my heart. From now on, I will definitely work even harder, I promise. Kim Tae-joo rubbed the back of his neck and replied, I'm glad you like them. Sir, thanks to you, everything is proceeding very smoothly. You've worked so hard on everything, from acquiring the building to supervising the construction. That's right. I think I'll accept the offer you mentioned before. The man's face grew serious as he asked, so you've finally made up your mind? He turned slightly to look at Baek Hong-pyo. That's right. The director of E Pharmaceuticals came to see me today. And after meeting with that old geezer, I became completely certain of my decision. The man suddenly realized something and hurriedly asked, that bastard? Did he do anything to harm you? Kim Tae-joo scratched his head and replied calmly, no. He just made a few threats. Thanks to him, I was reminded of how poorly you're treated when you lack power. Therefore, as you suggested, I will establish a pharmaceutical company. I look forward to working with you. Baek Hong-pyo put his hands on his hips and laughed loudly. Of course. He looked straight at the man and said, in that case, I'll leave the rest of the construction work to you. I plan to be away for a while. Baek Hong-pyo looked puzzled upon hearing this. What did you say? Are you planning to go somewhere far? Kim Tae-joo looked up at the sky. Not exactly. Until the company is officially established, I plan to focus all my attention on researching and developing a few more new medicines. The Primordial Void Poison Spirit Art. This is the iconic martial art created by Elder Tang, the greatest master in the martial arts world. This martial art is integrated with the Tang Clan's basic internal energy technique, the 5 elements Qigong, and is also distilled from the essence of many different martial arts: fire, water, wood, earth, and metal. This entire martial art is divided into 10 levels, including the techniques of Poison Spirit Creation, 10,000 Blossoms Dance, and Void Step. Next are the Poison Body State, Sword Chi Release, and Hidden Weapon Retrieval, the Blood Butterfly and Poison Force Dispersal Technique, the Peak Transformation Realm, First Rate, Second Rate, the Method for Creating Counterfeit Medicine, and the Toxicity Condensation Skill. After surpassing the 10th level, the practitioner must rely on a great enlightenment to awaken the poison spirit. Only those who have comprehended the poison spirit are able to execute the secret technique, 10,000 Blossoms Dance. A prime example is Elder Tang, who once used his poison hands to annihilate the heavenly demon, the leader of the demonic cult. An excerpt from the History of the Martial Arts Alliance, the section on Elder Tang's martial arts. In the monster zone of the Mount Jiu'e area, a pillar of light suddenly shot straight up into the sky. Kim Tae-joo rushed forward with his weapon to attack, trying to regulate his breathing. Kim Tae-joo gripped the dagger tightly with both hands, lunged forward, and stabbed it forcefully right between the creature's eyes. The monster was quickly defeated and fell backward. Kim Tae-joo landed lightly on the ground and looked back, letting out a soft sigh. This monster is called a poison claw lynx, but it's as big as a tiger. Its hide is so tough that neither my weapon nor my internal energy can easily pierce it. My current level is only the 3rd stage of the poison spirit art, equivalent to the strength of a second or first-rate martial artist in the Murim. It's truly still a shameful level to be at. That's why I chose Mount Jiu'e as a place to train and absorb toxins from mutated creatures. This poison cat is an impressive size. For someone like me, who holds all of Elder Tang's knowledge, this training is just like reviewing old lessons. Because I started this with a complete understanding of everything, I can advance incredibly fast, as long as I continuously consume new types of poisons. Before, my body couldn't adapt in time, which kept me stuck at the 3rd stage for a while. But now that my condition has stabilized, advancing to the next level is no longer an obstacle. Kim Tae-joo wiped the blood from his mouth. Now, I just need to successfully absorb the poison from the spore deer. Oh, almost forgot. I need to retrieve my hidden daggers. Don't you know how expensive this stuff is? The spore deer is a monster species that's naturally docile and passive. They have 2 humps on their backs, looking quite similar to a Bactrian camel. He quickly attacked it. However, the reason this gentle creature becomes so terrifying is that the moment it dies, those 2 humps explode, releasing countless microscopic spores with extremely potent poison. Kim Tae-joo stood fearlessly amidst the cloud of poison. He reached out and touched it. Is this the poison rumored to be capable of melting even the filter of a gas mask? Unbelievably, it takes a full hour to dissipate upon contact with air. His finger sizzled as it touched the poison. Just as the rumors said, this is the most terrifying poison I've ever encountered. I can't let this precious ingredient go to waste. Kim Tae-joo turned, his coat fluttering. He stretched out his hand, intending to gather all the poison in one place. Kim Tae-joo clenched his teeth, his face drenched in sweat. I need to focus completely. A blue light mixed with the purple poison, condensing the toxic gas. His hand trembled as he drew it closer, guiding it to absorb into his body. As he circulated it through his poison spirit art to convert it into internal energy, Kim Tae-joo's body quickly underwent a change. He had reached the 4th stage. I wonder how many hours I've been sitting here circulating my energy. So, I've absorbed all the poison that was floating in the air. Because the amount of poison was so massive, converting it into true chi was no simple task. Maybe I was a bit too greedy. Still, now that I fully understand its toxic components, creating an antidote will be a piece of cake. Besides this deer, the modern world has far more types of poisons than the Murim era. I need to use this advantage to get stronger quickly. Images of the past flashed before his eyes. I will never allow myself to be as weak as I was in the past again. His voice grew firm. Absolutely never again. Kim Tae-joo's hands cupped the sphere, and it quickly dissolved into his body. Success. I've finally reached the 4th stage. Kim Tae-joo looked at his body, which was now emitting a faint glow, and said happily, "That took quite a while." He stood up and stretched to loosen his muscles. I stayed on Mount Jiu'e longer than I originally planned, but I managed to reach the 4th stage and figure out the antidote formula for the spore deer's poison. Kim Tae-joo slung his bag over his shoulder and looked up at the sky. I guess I should head back. The issue with e-pharmaceuticals isn't resolved yet, and being gone this long is making me a little uneasy. Night fell. At a shop in the city, he dropped the bag from his shoulder onto the floor. Kim Tae-joo dusted off his hands and spoke up. "Director, I'm back. Is everyone doing okay? The shelves are completely empty." Business must be booming, right? Baek Hongpyo's voice was filled with surprise. Oh my, Mr. Kim Tae-joo, you've returned. It's been half a month already. I couldn't reach you by phone, so I was really worried. The girl standing next to him also spoke. Welcome back, Mr. Kim Tae-joo. He flusteredly waved his hands and explained, I'm sorry, I turned off my phone to focus on my training and research for the antidote. But why does everyone look so down? Did something happen? Baek Hongpyo slowly began to explain. The thing is, the representatives from the pharmaceutical company announced they were halting all supply and have recalled all our products. On top of that, today the Pharmaceutical Licensing Department of the Self-Governing Committee demanded we submit our list of ingredients to investigate the antidote's side effects. Hearing this, Kim Tae-joo's expression hardened. Is this Jo Hun-suk's doing? He scratched his head, flustered, and replied, while there's no concrete proof, that's the kind of tactic he often uses. He also holds the position of a general commissioner on the military's self-governing committee. So, what happens if we refuse to provide them with a list of ingredients? Worst case scenario, we'll be completely banned from doing business. He crossed his arms and thought, don't tell me the standing commissioner sent by the Empire is in on this too? If we just let them be, Jo Hun-suk's attack has probably only just begun. The actions of that trash are exactly as I expected, no different from that other damn crew. However, in my dictionary, as well as Old Man Tang's, the word compromise doesn't exist. I'll crush them first. Kim Tae-joo rubbed his wrist and said, Director, let's just face them head on. If they want to threaten us, they need to do it properly. Baek Hongpyo, a bit confused, asked, face them head on? He smiled and explained, that's right. They're claiming our antidote has side effects, aren't they? Then we'll just stop selling it. Shut down the shop for me, effective immediately. Streetlights cast a glow on a cozy-looking house, from which a wisp of smoke was rising. Inside, a fragrant, juicy piece of meat gave off an intoxicating aroma, and a group of people waited eagerly to enjoy it. Kim Tae-joo politely ate a small piece, looking like a shy young maiden, but the flavor made him freeze. It was truly a taste of the heavens. Kim Tae-joo happily cupped his face as if he had just seen paradise. So this is the taste of spore deer meat, considered the most exquisite meat in the Samhan Empire. Because no one had a way to remove the toxins before, the carcasses were all wasted. The truth is, the emperor monopolized it, so even the rich couldn't buy it. I was so smart to choose the spore deer antidote as my next product. This flavor is insane. It's beyond imagination. My initial goal was to prevent civilian casualties from the deer's poison whenever a monster wave hit. But with a taste this divine, anyone who tries it will soon become a slave to this spore deer meat. This is what makes life worth living. Everyone seemed to be enjoying it immensely. Maybe I should open a side business selling deer meat? If I offer this to the emperor, who's crazy about spore deer, maybe he'll even take notice of my grandmaster-level swordsmanship. As everyone was enjoying themselves, a deep, hoarse voice suddenly spoke up. It turned out to be Baek Hongpyo. Thank you, Mr. Kim Tae-joo, for treating us to this precious meat. If the new medicine is an antidote for the spore deer, still, are you sure it's okay to just close the pharmacy without giving any response? I'm getting really worried. He was unusually calm, casually eating as he offered reassurance. Everything will be fine. Just trust me, and be patient. Besides, who do you think really loses out if I stop selling the antidote? In the blink of an eye, morning came, and the scene had changed. Park Jin-soo raised his voice, staring at the still-closed shop. What the hell is this? It's been 5 days? And it's still not open today? He silently calculated in his head. I only have a few antidote potions left. How am I supposed to go hunting like this? Suddenly, 2 young men started talking. Hey, it looks like those rumors were true. The person next to him asked bluntly, what rumors? The other guy seemed to know all about the antidote's side effects. I heard someone got sick after taking it, so the self-governing committee demanded they release the formula. And because of the pressure, Director Baek had to close up shop. The person next to him finally remembered, yeah, I heard about that too. They're saying the sales might be suspended permanently. But these words just pissed off Park Jin-soo. Those damn bastards are good for nothing but running their mouths. I'm living proof. I've used every single one of Director B's potions. How dare they spread lies like that? He couldn't take it anymore, and reached out. Hey, you two. But a sword sheath suddenly appeared, stopping Park Jin-soo's actions. Lee Yong-hyuk appeared, looking incredibly cool. That's enough. I will not tolerate anyone causing trouble here. Everyone was stunned by the scene. Isn't that Mr. Lee Yong-hyuk? What brings the captain of the guard all the way out here? Could the rumor that he's connected to I be true? Either way, they're all in the same boat as the committee. Whatever, this kind of thing happens all the time. Park Jin-soo didn't fight back. He could only clutch his trembling arm. Lee Yong-hyuk spoke again. This is an official decision from the standing committee. Due to the side effects caused by the antidote from Baek's shop, their business is suspended until the formula analysis is complete. So all of you, Disperse. Don't gather here and make a scene. But he couldn't accept this outcome. That's ridiculous. I was part of the clinical trials, and I'm perfectly healthy. How are we supposed to hunt without the antidote? Are we supposed to go back to wearing those old, shabby, insect-repellent suits? With the first person speaking up, everyone else started to chime in. That's right. I can't go back to those miserable times. Just let them sell it, or bring out the person who had side effects to testify before us. Is it because you're a high ranker with a natural resistance to poison that you think this has nothing to do with you? Lee Yong-hyuk didn't get angry, but instead scoffed. Interesting. In a flash, his smiling face twisted into a demonic, threatening glare. Since when did trash like you dare to talk back to me, huh? But whatever. You lot aren't even worth drawing my sword for. Get out of my sight, he thought to himself. Damn it, that secretary made me do this annoying job again. If it weren't for the majority rule principle, he would've. At this, the crowd began to disperse, with only Park Jin-soo remaining frozen in place, staring at the empty space beside him. He broke into a sweat, thinking, I knew someone would come looking. Seeing him still standing there, Lee Yong-hyuk drew his sword. Hey, you, the only one left. You seem to find my words amusing. You must be pretty confident in your skills to be so bold, huh? Park Jin-soo didn't dare hesitate any longer, turning tail and running without a second glance. I'm sorry, sir. He sheathed his weapon, still mumbling. So annoying. Why do I always have to deal with this stupid crap? I don't care who sells potions, but that guy, Jo Hun-sok. Sooner or later, I'm going to deal with him. What right does he have to manipulate the entire standing committee? Elsewhere, inside a luxurious white car, a soft voice spoke, My dear secretary. His face was that of a man hatching a wicked scheme. I, Jo Hun-sok, am truly grateful that you were able to make that fearsome Lee Yong-hyuk yield. No matter how much of a high ranker he is, at the end of the day, he's just one of the 3 members of the standing committee. As long as Chairman Min and I are here, he can't do a thing against the majority vote. His job is just to focus on maintaining public order like he is now. That's more than enough. The person on the other end of the phone advised, as long as we don't go too far, he won't get involved in these matters anyway. He's all talk. For the sake of our Guri, Jo Hun-sok maintained his friendly smile. Just as you said, Mr. Secretary, as long as that high ranker knows his place, everything will be settled smoothly. We've already started implementing the next phase. I will reward you handsomely. Of course, at most, they won't last more than a week, unless money suddenly falls from the sky and lands on their heads. The scene shifts again, this time to the office of Lee Yong-hyuk, who had just handled the situation. No, the scene shifts to Lieutenant General Oh Jin-hyung's office. Oh Jin-hyung asked in a stern voice, Is what you're saying true? Kim Tae-joo seriously explained the plan. That's right, we will supply 1 million vials of the potion to the Jirisan Monster Defense Corps. The price will remain at 50,000 won per vial, for a total contract value of 50 billion. He fell silent, seemingly calculating whether this deal was profitable. To reintroduce him, this is the commander of the Jirisan Monster Defense Corps, Lieutenant General Oh Jin-hyung. A master, a dangerous purple light glinted in his eyes. 50 billion, you say? He was worried and uncertain, or was the general upset that I'm selling to the army at market price? But the aide beside him said, It seems the commander is in an extremely good mood. Seeing that expression, Kim Tae-joo could only pretend to understand, replying, I see. Oh Jin-hyung suddenly spoke, his voice unusually soft. Selling at such a cheap price. Will your side even make any profit from this? Kim Tae-joo didn't expect such a question, and froze on the spot. Without waiting for an answer, the general acted on his own. Hey, aide-de-camp, can the Corps' reserve fund cover 50 billion won? He responded formally. Reporting, Lieutenant General. That is entirely possible, sir. Oh Jin-hyung didn't hesitate and sealed the deal. Then transfer half of that amount as a down payment right now. Kim Tae-joo was surprised by how smoothly things were going. Please wait a moment. There's one more item in this transaction. The general asked doubtfully. Isn't the new antidote the only thing you're selling? He said gently. I'm planning to establish a company soon, so I've recently developed a new product. With that, Kim Tae-joo took out a carefully wrapped piece of meat. He took a sip of tea and said, Please, have a taste. Oh Jin-hyung looked curiously at the mysterious object before him, wondering, What is this? As soon as he opened the wrapping, he asked suspiciously, Isn't this just meat? Kim Tae-joo remained composed. Yes, sir. This is a special portion, just for you, Lieutenant General. The general sighed, a little disappointed. I thought you were going to introduce a new kind of potion, but I've been cutting back on meat lately for my health. But you said, you should offer this to His Majesty the Emperor. I'm certain he'll be absolutely delighted. It's the meat of the poisonous guardian deer. This statement completely startled the assistant. You mean the deer whose meat is as succulent as a mountain spring, the one fabled to have a taste fit for the gods? Kim Tae-joo casually nodded in confirmation. Oh Jin-hyung's expression suddenly turned serious. You're truly a rare young man in this day and age. The military is in dire need of talent like you. What do you say? Would you consider enlisting? The moment he heard the word enlist, his face darkened as he secretly hatched a plan. Forget this contract. Maybe I should just take this old man out right now? The Jirisan Monster Defense Corps was a unit stationed at the farthest border of the Samhan Empire. The Corps was responsible for suppressing monster rampages and controlling their population. On my first day as commander in this desolate place, I couldn't help but feel a sense of despair. Because out here on the frontier, if we do our job well, no one notices. But the moment we slip up, we face the full wrath of public opinion. But after all this time waiting, fortune has finally smiled upon me. Even as Oh Jin-hyung pondered this, he couldn't hide the smile spreading across his face. An antidote for the deer poison. Did he really pull it off? Just then, his aide spoke up. Reporting, Commander. The contract deposit has been transferred successfully, and all of your directives have been carried out. Just as you predicted, sir, the reason for their sudden cooperation is a conflict with the Pharmaceutical Association under Jo Hoon-suk's control. Regarding the newspaper you asked about, tomorrow's edition will feature an exclusive story on the antidote contract and the Guardian deer hunting campaign. The commander praised him generously. Excellent work, aide. Keep an eye on Kim Tae-joo and give him all the support he needs. Yes, sir. The aide placed his hands behind his back in compliance. Understood, sir. Oh Jin-hyung suddenly became sentimental. Thank you for staying by my side all this time while I was an outcast. The aide was moved to tears. I'm so grateful that you finally understand my devotion, sir. Oh, the hardships I've endured. The commander called his aide's name with a serious tone. The aide shouted, Sir. Yes, Commander. Oh Jin-hyung gripped his aide's shoulders firmly, then pulled him into an embrace. Let's seize this opportunity and march straight for the capital. The aide agreed emphatically. Yes, sir. I will trust and follow you to the very end. The two of them shouted in unison, their voices echoing down the hall and startling those outside. The scene shifts. We're now at Kim Tae-joo's house on the outskirts of Guri. Inside, conversation flowed as preparations to establish a company were proceeding smoothly. Baek Hong-pyo instructed seriously. Once you finalize the name, we can get the rest of the paperwork done quickly. Kim Tae-joo replied politely, Thank you for all your hard work. Thankfully, the contract with the military was successfully signed. Lieutenant General Oh even personally arranged things to smooth the path forward for us. He also secretly leaked news of the contract and the antidote research to the press to build public support. He's truly worthy of his rank as Corps Commander. As of now, everything is tipping in our favor. Did you use the deposit money to completely pay off the loan? He smiled and explained. I did. Since we received $25 billion, I took care of it immediately. I also cut all ties with that bank and cleared out the account. But even as he spoke, Baek Hong-pyo's hands trembled uncontrollably. Kim Tae-joo pretended not to notice, acting as if nothing was wrong. You did a good job. Please use the remaining funds to invest in the orphanage's management. And there's one more thing. I've given it a lot of thought, and I don't think I can run this company by myself. I really need a trustworthy partner by my side. Mr. Baek Hong-pyo, I have a proposal for you. Would you be willing to build this company with me? The offer completely caught him off guard. What? But Baek Hong-pyo was well aware of his own limitations. Me? I've only ever managed a small pharmacy. I don't think I'd be much help to you. Kim Tae-joo explained. That's not it at all. I'm skilled at developing the medicine, but I know nothing about marketing it. Without your help, this business could never get off the ground. He replied. I'm already doing my best to help you, but thank you for holding me in such high regard. Then, Baek Hong-pyo had a change of heart. All right, fine. Seeing as the prospects are so bright, I'm in. Let's split the profits 90-10. You, Kim Tae-joo, will of course take the 90%, but he refused. No, Kim Tae-joo then offered a very reasonable explanation. Mr. Baek, you'll be the one managing the company directly, so you deserve a proper stake. We'll split it 70-30. If you don't agree to that, then I won't start the company at all. He laughed, dropping the formalities. In that case, I'll gratefully accept your sincerity. However, I won't be the one in charge. Though I'm just a pharmacy owner, I happen to know someone far more capable. Kim Tae-joo asked doubtfully. Is it someone from the orphanage? Baek Hong-pyo began to explain. You've actually met her once before, in the orphanage's fallout shelter. Her name is Baek Sion. At the mention of her name, Kim Tae-joo immediately remembered. Yes, she left quite an impression on me. He continued, not holding anything back. She's the brightest child I ever raised. If you have no objections, I'll call her over right away. Kim Tae-joo smiled, thinking to himself that after more than 2 decades of caring for orphans, the children who had grown up to become successful in various fields were this man's greatest source of strength. Kim Tae-joo agreed politely. As long as they're capable, I welcome them warmly. The two shook hands, sealing the deal. Partnering with Mr. Bake was definitely the right decision. He stood up and announced excitedly, "I've just thought of a name for the company. Let's take Tae from Kim Tae-joo and Hong from Bak Hong Pyo. Let's register it as Tae Hong Bo. Bak Hong Pyo, quite liked it. That's a great name. I'll go file the registration paperwork immediately." Suddenly, he seemed to remember something. "Oh, I almost forgot. I've already contacted a few awakeners and other suitable candidates to join us." Kim Tae-joo asked, puzzled. "You did? Why so suddenly?" Baek Hong Pyo replied bluntly. "That guy, Jo Hun Suk. He's very likely to resort to violence, so I called them here to protect you, Kim Tae-joo." But Kim Tae-joo seemed uncertain. "To protect me? I'll be fine. It would be better to have them stay and protect the orphanage." But he thought to himself, "Protect me? He's got it the wrong way around." Baek Hong Pyo was still hesitant, the unspoken words caught in his throat. Where on earth does this kid get so much confidence? He has an unremarkable face. He's not an awakener. At best, he just has an aptitude for it. I heard he used to be a soldier. Is he just trying to ride on that title? Suddenly, Kim Tae-joo noticed something and asked bluntly, "It seems like you all don't really trust me yet. Haven't we built enough trust all this time?" Hearing this, Baek Hong Pyo explained nervously, "No, it's not like that. I trust you." "Of course. If I don't trust you, who else can I trust?" Kim Tae-joo showed no emotion as he grabbed his coat, ready to leave. "Then, that's fine. Let's make things perfectly clear this time. Call all of them here right now." Startled, the man asked, "What for?" He put on his coat, his voice filled with conviction. "To prove my skills, and to test the effectiveness of the spore antidote. I'm going to join them on a hunt in the Mount Jiri demonic beast belt." A whole group of people followed Kim Tae-joo deep into the forest. They silently sized him up. That mystical fox fur coat alone was worth over 4 billion won. So extravagant. His gear looks top-notch, but he doesn't have a single tattoo on his face. If he was a porter before, then he must have just been an ordinary person, or a tag-along. It gets very dangerous from this point on. Suddenly, a hand went up and a voice called out, "Director Kim Tae-joo." The young man spoke up and explained, "Demonic beasts will start appearing frequently from here on out, so I'll take the lead to clear the path. My father strictly instructed me to protect you at all costs, sir." It turned out this was the 25-year-old Baek Jong-hoon, a swordsman class awakened. Kim Tae-joo called out gently, "Hey buddy," he replied, confused. "Yes?" Kim Tae-joo then said, "You can just call me Kim Tae-joo." Baek Jong-hoon answered, a bit flustered, "Yes sir." Kim Tae-joo, he thought to himself, I thought he was at least in his 30s. Just stick close behind me. That coat has good defense, but it'll slow you down in a fight. Besides, I'm an awakened, so my reaction speed is definitely much faster than yours. Seeing the other man's silence, Baek Jong-hoon quickly explained, "If anything I said or did made you uncomfortable, I apologize." He smiled and turned away. "Don't worry about it, I'm used to it. You're worried because I'm not an awakened, right? We can talk about that later. Right now, we need to deal with that first." With that, Kim Tae-joo reached into his coat pocket. Baek Jong-hoon looked up at the sky, confused. What's that? Above their heads, hundreds of sinister eyes were surrounding them, cutting off every escape route. Baek Jong-hoon trembled, unable to believe his eyes. Are those storm weasels? Before he could even react, they lunged to attack. The swarm of storm weasels recklessly dove down towards Baek Jong-hoon's position. He was already getting tired, panting heavily in the face of this impossible situation. Damn it, when did all these storm weasels show up? Just then, a familiar figure appeared. Kim Tae-joo was holding long, black nails, which then transformed into explosive projectiles. His gaze was fixed forward without a hint of hesitation. A second later, the explosive projectiles shot forward toward the swarm of storm weasels. Their power was incomparable. Baek Jong-hoon stood there stunned, watching this unexpected turn of events. He watched as the massive weasels were defeated before his very eyes. He thought to himself, storm weasels may not have exceptionally strong attacks, but they're feared by everyone because they hunt in packs of at least 20 or more. But right now, these ferocious creatures that a low ranker like him would never dare to touch had been completely wiped out without a trace. Kim Tae-joo stood behind them, casually brushing off his hands as if he'd just done something trivial. He frowned, wondering, how did we get so unlucky to run into a pack of storm weasels right away? I didn't even have time to draw the flying willow blade, my usual weapon. He glanced over at Baek Jong-hoon and his group. If they had gotten hurt, I wouldn't have been able to face Mr. Beck. At that moment, a man with platinum hair rushed over to check on Baek Jong-hoon. Are you okay? They were completely annihilated, not a single trace left. Kim Tae-joo thought about the hidden weapons he'd just thrown. In the end, to finish them off in an instant, I had to unleash a barrage of the Tang Clan's hidden weapons, the pear blossom storm needles and the iron pellets. He looked back at the devastated battlefield and started to feel a sting of regret. The tricky part is that those 200+ hidden weapons can't be retrieved now. I wonder how much money all that cost. At this thought, Kim Tae-joo couldn't help but sigh. At times like these, I really wish I had reached the 7th level of the poison spirit arts. Because then, I could just hold out my hand and they'd all return to me instantly. Baek Jong-hoon walked up and called out, "Kim Tae-joo." He looked him straight in the eye and suddenly asked, "I've heard rumors that masters can hide the tattoos on their faces. Are you a master? Because there's no other way I can explain what just happened." Kim Tae-joo glanced at him and replied, "Well, one thing's for sure, I'm not an awakened. Anyway, I'll take the lead from now on." Startled, Baek Jong-hoon quickly tried to stop him, but my father gave me strict orders to Kim Tae-joo, paid him no mind, and walked ahead. "All right, I'm going first." Baek Jong-hoon watched his retreating back, wondering to himself, "Kim Tae-joo, who are you, really?" The group continued deeper into the forest and soon found a creature not far off. A poison deer that was grazing quickly sensed the noise. Seeing the group approach, it continued to enjoy its meal nonchalantly. Baek Jong-hoon stammered in confusion. "Is that a spore poison deer? What are you going to do with it?" Ryu-do laughed with amusement. "Look at that. The monster knows its own advantage. It knows humans won't dare approach it, fearing the poison it emits." Without warning, he turned to the group and said, "Everyone, drink the medicine. You're going to be the ones to take that creature down." His words left them all stunned, especially Baek Jong-hoon. "Us?" He looked doubtfully at the bottle in his hand. "Dear antidote. I heard it's still in the experimental phase. Is this really safe?" A few seconds later, Baek Jong-hoon psyched himself up. "No, we have to trust him. He's partnered with my father now, after all. He just created the antidote and displayed such incredible power." His gaze grew resolute as he downed the bottle of medicine. "Now is the time for us to prove our own abilities." Baek Jong-hoon grabbed his sword and charged forward, shouting instructions as he went. "I'll charge in first. If it tries to run, support me with your mana guns." His comrades quickly acknowledged the order. "Got it." The sword in his hand suddenly began to glow. Then, to the utter astonishment of the poison deer, he rushed towards it. The poison deer was forced into a rage by the sudden attack. It let out a piercing shriek. Without hesitation, Baek Jong-hoon swung his sword at it. He mercilessly struck the poison deer, slicing it in two. A second later, the poison deer was decapitated. The girl on the team immediately screamed a warning. "It's going to explode! Everyone, be careful!" Poisonous bubbles emerged from the deer's corpse, quickly spreading into the surrounding air. Kim Tae-joo watched the result, quite satisfied. "I was a bit skeptical at first, but this isn't bad at all." He couldn't help but compliment both the effectiveness of the deer antidote and the young man, Baek Jong-hoon. His skills are still raw, but he's got guts. The girl turned to Baek Jong-hoon and reported cheerfully, "Baek Jong-hoon, look, I'm completely unharmed." He smiled, relieved that everything was going smoothly. What a relief. The antidote worked. Just then, Kim Tae-joo walked over and said confidently, "So, do you believe me now? With this antidote, taking them down is ridiculously simple. These deer are all bark and no bite. Once you neutralize their poison, they're just weak animals." Baek Jong-hoon called out his name, full of trust. "Mr. Kim Tae-joo." The platinum-haired young man stepped forward to apologize. "I'm truly sorry for ever doubting your antidote." The girl on the team added nonchalantly, "Well, I always believed in you. You're the one who made the mosquito antidote, right?" Kim Tae-joo didn't stop, walking right past them and deeper into the forest. "If there are no other issues, let's head in further. The hunt continues." Baek Jong-hoon replied obediently, "Yes, sir." He then turned to remind the group, "Oh, right. You all know how to butcher, don't you? Let's collect all the meat from this deer first. Once the antidote hits the market, the deer in this region will become scarce pretty quickly." In Nusun, the capital of the Samhan Empire, located in the region of Old Manchuria, it was a bustling city, home to the headquarters of the Marina Corporation, a towering, luxurious skyscraper. Inside the office, employees bustled about their work. Just then, a voice cut through the noise. "Hey, is that Director Beck?" The woman who was called looked up to answer. "Yes, Vice President, I'm listening." Baek Sion, 30 years old, was the youngest director in the Marina Corporation's Strategic Planning Department. Jeonju was the vice president of that same department. He didn't hesitate, getting straight to the point. "I want to ask you something directly. You grew up in the Baek orphanage, didn't you? And Baek Hong Pyo is the one in charge there." Sion couldn't help but wonder, why is he bringing up my father right now? But outwardly, she remained calm as she replied, "That's correct. Is there a reason you're asking?" He chuckled, then made a sudden announcement. "Just as I thought. My memory serves me right. From now on, I want you to hand over all the projects you're currently in charge of." Baek Sion was stunned by the sudden demand. "What did you just say?" Jeonju gave her a sinister look as he continued. "Instead, you're going to go down to Guri and handle something for me." I have a very important task I need you to take care of. Bak Xian was immediately suspicious. Why are you suddenly saying these strange things? Jeonju held out a newspaper. What? You haven't been following the news about the new startup, Taehong Bio? As she skimmed the article, she wondered, why is this man acting so strangely? Outwardly, Baekseon feigned calmness and replied, you mean the spore deer antidote, correct? Of course. I've already read the reports on it. Hearing this, he immediately interrogated her. Then why are you pretending you don't know anything? The Bak family pharmacy is part of Taehong Bio. That rumor is already all over the place. Sion was taken aback by the news. What? My father never told me anything about this. Jeonju didn't seem to care, staring intently at her. Is that so? I don't think that really matters. In any case, I want you to return to Guri immediately and stay by your father's side. Find a way to extract information about the antidote and get your hands on the formula. You know exactly who I work for. If you do this job well, your life will enter a whole new chapter. Her gaze suddenly turned cold and hostile. He wants me to betray my own father? Just as Seon was about to make herself clear, the ringing of a phone cut her off. Huh? It's my father, she asked politely. May I take this call? My father is calling. Jeonju grunted impatiently. Make it quick and give me your decision. I have to go file my report. Seon immediately answered the phone, then fell silent. Yes, father. Jeonju stood to the side, trying to overhear Baekseon's conversation. A moment later, she smiled as she ended the call. Yes, I understand, father. Okay, goodbye, father. Jeonju didn't waste a second. That took long enough. So, have you made your decision? At that, Baekseon made her choice swiftly. I agree. I'll go back to Guri. He looked very pleased with her decision, a very wise choice. Now, let's discuss the finer details. Just then, Sion's voice cut in sharply. But wait. A second later, an employee ID card flew straight at him. What? With a bright smile on her face, Baekseon announced loudly, I'm resigning and leaving this trash company. She then walked past the arrogant jerk with a cold expression. I'm sick and tired of you looking down on me just because you have a little power. What kind of person do you take me for, asking me to betray my own father? Furious at being publicly humiliated, he shouted, Hey, Baekseon, have you lost your mind? You're just an orphan. Where did you get this kind of nerve? Hey, get back here. Seon didn't even flinch, replying calmly. Whatever. Back in the city of Guri, night had fallen in front of Kim Tae-joo's building. Inside a room, the group was busy sorting through something. Just then, Kim Tae-joo walked in with a smile. You've all done a great job. Baek Jong-hoon paused his work and replied, Yes, you worked hard too, sir. He then told the others, All right, everyone head back to the orphanage and get some rest. I'll take care of the rest. Baek Jong-hoon was confused about his own duty. But what about protecting you? My father specifically ordered us to. Kim Tae-joo crossed his arms, looking somewhat exasperated. After seeing what I can do today, are you guys still worried about that? Go back and protect the kids and the director. His words made Baek Jong-hoon concede the point. You're probably right, Baek Jong-hoon immediately announced to the team. All right, everyone, if you're done, pack up your things. We're heading home. Kim Tae-joo watched them for a moment, thinking to himself, besides, the orphanage should be safe enough. Who would be stupid enough to mess with that place and incur the wrath of everyone in Guri? But this world is full of crazy people. A moment later, Kim Tae-joo said goodbye to Baek Jong-hoon's group with a mess of thoughts, especially in a place like Guri. He watched them until they were completely out of sight. That's exactly why I need trustworthy comrades like them. Kim Tae-joo went back inside the building to continue his work. Once the company's operations are stable, I'll hire enough people to process the antidote ingredients. Only then will I truly have time to focus on researching new medicines. At first, my goal was just to make enough money to live comfortably, but things have now grown on a much larger scale than I ever imagined. Still, making a lot of money isn't a bad thing. It's thanks to that I can afford a property like this. Entering his room, Kim Tae-joo couldn't help but feel how strange it was to have a house of his own. He hung his outer coat on the wall, born unable to use mana. I thought I was going to die in Paju, but I fought and clung to this life. Even when my stepmother pushed me into the army, hoping I would die. Ever since I awakened thanks to my soul connection with Grandmaster Tang, I came to Guri, worked as a mover, and created the antidote myself. The most precious thing I've gained is meeting good people. He leaned back on the soft, warm bed to relax. It's been such a turbulent journey in such a short time. Guri will be where I start everything. This will be the foundation for me to stand on my own 2 feet. Elsewhere, soft footsteps moved through the night. A man turned back and asked his subordinate, Is that the building owned by that brat, Kim Tae-joo? The man behind him quickly replied, Yes, that's right, boss. The one in charge was the leader of a villainous organization in Guri, the low-level Ma Sang-sik. He began to scoff at Kim Tae-joo. This rookie in Guri already thinks he can buy real estate? How ridiculous. His subordinate, Deok-san, immediately explained, It's because his mosquito antidote is such a huge hit. I heard a deer antidote is coming out soon too. Ma Sang-sik turned back, annoyed. Damn it, you think I don't know that? Deok-san lowered his head meekly. Please calm down, boss. I'm sorry. The boss couldn't help but grumble in frustration. What a waste. If it weren't for Jo Hoon-suk's request, I would have already kidnapped that brat and stolen his formula. Deok-san called out urgently. Boss. Ma Sang-sik waved his hand and clarified. I know. If the CEO's drug supply gets cut off, we're finished, so just follow the orders. Let's go. The man then used a flashlight and broke the tough lock. The group snuck quietly up the stairs. Ma Sang-sik didn't forget to remind them. As soon as we're inside, don't say a word. Just inject him with the syringe immediately. Once the drug takes effect, his mind will get dizzy. Then we just have to throw him in the car. The closed door was opened easily. A figure holding a syringe stepped inside and walked towards a bed within. The next second, Deok-san swung his arm, intending to inject Kim Tae-joo. The syringe plunged downwards. In that exact moment, a hand shot out and grabbed the man's arm. Kim Tae-joo, who seemed to be fast asleep, suddenly sat up with an annoyed tone. I gave it some thought. Actually, at first, I was going to let you guys go ahead and inject me, just to see what would happen. Deok-san jumped and shouted, Oh my god, this bastard scared the hell out of me. You were awake this whole time? Ma Sang-sik, standing behind him, urged him on. Hey, what are you standing there for? Inject him already. Deok-san, covered in sweat, pleaded for help. Boss, my arm, it won't move. Ma Sang-sik, as if he hadn't heard clearly, asked again. What? Kim Tae-joo suddenly spoke up. I knew you guys would show up here from the very beginning. The clueless Deok-san looked left and right, searching. What the hell? Where did he go? Where's my syringe? Kim Tae-joo then reappeared a short distance away, taunting, I forgot to mention, I really hate needles. They hurt. The terrified man reported to Ma Sang-sik, leaving him speechless. Boss, is this guy really someone abandoned by Mana? Kim Tae-joo playfully twirled the syringe and asked, I wonder, if I drink this directly, will its effect be reduced? Ma Sang-sik growled in annoyance. This little brat. He must be insane. How dare you swallow my drug, and then act all high and mighty in front of someone like me? In the next second, his tone suddenly changed. Ma Sang-sik's expression faltered. Why? Why did you eat it? At that moment, Kim Tae-joo was savoring the drug in the syringe, as if it were delicious. He tossed the empty syringe aside and mused, Is this an addictive substance? Kim Tae-joo's whole body felt like it was surging with power, ready to erupt. This poison is quite potent. Do you have anything else? There have long been rumors about a gang in the Guri slums that distributes this stuff. It's the drug, Drark. Even the self-governing committee can't interfere, which means someone powerful in Guri is backing them. And now, that harmful drug is right in front of me. In the end, a drug is just another form of poison. This is a poison with novel properties that I've never tasted before. With the 4th level of the poison spirit art, absorbing a common drug like this is a piece of cake. Even the Peerless Poison Demon, Grandmaster Tang, encountered all sorts of opium, soul-bewitching powder, and heavenly fragrance during his travels. That's why I decided to just swallow it all. An emotionless voice rang out. How does it feel? I'm using the drugs in their bodies to advance my own poison cultivation. Kim Tae-joo, holding Deok-san in his grasp, asked if he felt like he had been born again. Ma Sang-sik was now trembling with fear. How could you absorb all of that drug? He glanced at the man without hesitation and asked, Now it's your turn. Spit it out. Who sent you? Although terrified, Ma Sang-sik was forced to explain, I can't tell you. I'll be killed if I reveal his identity. Kim Tae-joo didn't argue. He just said, All right then. In that case, let me help you become a whole new person. Afterwards, a strange blue light appeared in the room, along with agonizing screams. The next morning, the clear blue sky signaled a beautiful day. Lee Yong-hyuk was riding in a car speeding down the road when he suddenly spoke. So, the one who reported the incident was Kim Tae-joo. The kid with the mosquito antidote? The woman with him turned her head and replied, Yes, sir, that's correct. Apparently, Ma Sang-sik's gang broke into his house and was caught while trying to kidnap him. The mastermind has been revealed, along with plenty of solid evidence. So, I want the guard team to take them in and investigate thoroughly to affirm our credibility. Hearing this, Lee Yong-hyuk couldn't help but feel annoyed. Damn it, this has to be Jo Hoon-suk's doing. If you're going to make a move, at least succeed. Instead, they failed miserably, like a bunch of morons. He couldn't stop the thoughts racing through his mind. Kim Tae-joo is just a newcomer to Gurye. He's not a threat. But the real problem is Bak Hong-pyo. The people trust him way too much. The fastest way to handle this is to drag Jo Hoon-suk into it and force him to negotiate a compromise. Of course, that narrow-eyed bastard won't just sit still and cooperate. In the end, this conflict is just going to drag on and on. Because he demanded a thorough investigation, the guard unit is also under immense pressure. Is this really the only way? Meanwhile, Kim Tae-joo and Baek Hong-pyo were looking at a group of people kneeling on the ground. Their faces were pale and gaunt, and with dazed eyes, they muttered incessantly, "Please, just give me some more of the drug." The sound of approaching footsteps echoed, and a girl in the arriving group spoke excitedly. "Wow, it's so lively here, isn't it? Hello, everyone." Baek Hong-pyo looked at them, overjoyed. "You all came so quickly. Captain Lee and the members of the guard, too." To Baek Hong-pyo's astonishment, Lee Yong-hyuk walked right past him. "Is he a master? Move aside." He walked up to Ma Song-sik, who was still dazedly muttering, "Please, give me the drug." Behind him, an accompanying guard stopped Baek Hong-pyo. Hey, everyone step back." He couldn't help but argue. "What? Why are you treating me like this?" Lee Yong-hyuk called out. Ma Song-sik. A horrifyingly sharp blade slid from its sheath. He swung the sword toward the man and shouted, "In the name of the authority granted by His Majesty, I will execute you right here and now." Just then, a swift dagger intercepted his attack. Lee Yong-hyuk was knocked back several steps away from Ma Song-sik. Kim Tae-joo stepped forward, his voice calm. "Stop right there. Why are you trying to eliminate these witnesses?" He suddenly held out a video recording. It was Ma Song-sik's confession. "CEO Jo Hun-suk of E-Pharmaceuticals ordered us to kidnap you and force you to become addicted to drugs." Kim Tae-joo looked at the man before him and stated, "It seems you already grasp the whole situation, don't you?" Lee Yong-hyuk was still furious at being stopped. "Who the hell are you?" The young man didn't hesitate to introduce himself. "My name is Kim Tae-joo." Hearing the recently famous name, Lee Yong-hyuk sneered through clenched teeth. "So, you're the one who created that antidote?" Lee Yong-hyuk's gaze hardened, his eyes fixed on him with hostility. "Let's see just how arrogant you really are." After observing him, Lee Yong-hyuk wondered to himself, "This face. It looks so familiar. I've seen it somewhere before." A few seconds later, fragments of a memory surfaced in his mind. Oh had previously introduced Kim Tae-joo to Lee Yong-hyuk. He was that ragged kid who used to be a porter. Hearing this remark, Kim Tae-joo wasn't exactly pleased. Lee Yong-hyuk then spoke up, wanting to confirm. "So you really are the one who created that antidote?" He crossed his arms and affirmed, "Yes, I am." Lee Yong-hyuk suddenly wondered if it was truly as miraculous as the rumors claimed. An unreadable smile spread across his face. Lee Yong-hyuk's hand rested on his sword, as if ready to strike. "In this land of Goryeo, I am the law." Not wanting to continue the conversation, he said, "I'll make you one final offer. These four lying here. Let's just chop off their heads and end this. What do you say?" Without a moment's hesitation, Kim Tae-joo objected. "I absolutely will not allow you to do that." Lee Yong-hyuk, in contrast, showed no emotion. Then, in the next second, he suddenly lunged at him, swinging his sword. "Then try and stop me." Kim Tae-joo didn't expect to be attacked right then. He quickly drew his hidden weapons to counter. Lee Yong-hyuk was surprised by his strange attacks. The sound of their clashes echoed endlessly in the quiet space. Just then, Lee Yong-hyuk spoke up, questioning, "Are you the one who subdued all these men?" A small cut appeared on the back of his hand, oozing blood. "I can't believe a nobody like you actually managed to scratch me. I have to commend you for your skill." It seemed Lee Yong-hyuk was starting to get angry, unleashing his power. "The price for defying a master twice is death." Kim Tae-joo looked at the man trying to kill him and said in confusion, "Is the title of master really such a big deal?" He spoke up, catching him off guard. "I'd genuinely like to know what makes a captain like you so arrogantly confident." Lee Yong-hyuk used that brief moment to unleash a brutal, life-threatening sword strike. Kim Tae-joo didn't hesitate to counter with his hidden weapons. Lee Yong-hyuk poured all his strength into the sword in his hand. Just as they were about to charge at each other, a helicopter appeared, stopping them in their tracks. "That's enough." Several figures leaped down from the helicopter. Oh Jin-hyung landed on the ground, creating small cracks in the earth. He smiled slightly and spoke to mediate. "Hey, Lee Yong-hyuk, let's stop this here." Oh Jin-hyung and his subordinates jumped down from the helicopter. He offered a friendly greeting to his old acquaintance. "Long time no see, Lee Yong-hyuk." It was clear Lee Yong-hyuk did not welcome Oh Jin-hyung. "What brings you all the way out to this free city?" Oh Jin-hyung was furious but had to hold it in. "Do I need your permission to be here?" Lee Yong-hyuk didn't want Oh Jin-hyung to use that as an excuse to interfere. "This is tantamount to the military interfering in Gurye's affairs." He immediately clarified, "No, I'm not here today in my capacity as a soldier." Oh Jin-hyung asserted that he wouldn't overstep his bounds. "Today, I'm simply Oh Jin-hyung." Lee Yong-hyuk laid out his terms in response. "Then it's best we each mind our own business and stay out of each other's way." He had been resentful of Oh Jin-hyung for a long time. The man's attitude completely changed when he saw Ju. "Hey, are you injured anywhere?" Kim Tae-joo politely shook Oh Jin-hyung's hand. "It's nothing. I'm fine." Oh Jin-hyung suddenly roared. "Whoever did this, just give me their name." The one speaking with such conviction was the commander of the Jirisan Monster Defense Corps, Major General Kwan Young-ji. As a master, I, Kwan Young-ji, will personally handle this. We will absolutely not let anything happen to the person who supplied the antidote to our corps. Baek Pilsang was ready to support his comrade. I'll dispatch some available officers to act as your escort detail, said Division Commander, Major General Baek Pilsang. Master Hong Yun-tae then chimed in with a joke. Or how about I brew you a nice restorative tonic? That was Division Commander, Major General, and Master Hong Yun-tae. Even Lee Yong-hyuk was stunned by the sight of the five of them talking and laughing cheerfully. What in the world is going on? Do they know each other through his father's connections? 4 masters, and they were all military officers on top of that. This was no longer a situation that could be resolved through negotiation. He choked back his anger. There was no other choice. For now, he had to retreat. I will make you pay for this humiliation. Fine then. Enjoy your chat. I'll be taking my leave. But Oh Jin-hyung had no intention of letting Lee Yong-hyuk walk away that easily. Model. Leaving so soon? Stay and chat a little longer. He's jealous they have nothing to worry about. I don't have the luxury of lazing around like you all. It seemed like the man was deliberately provoking him, much to Lee Yong-hyuk's surprise. He wanted to know what Eun Jae-in was up to. The man pointed behind himself, showing Lee Yong-hyuk the criminals he had captured. If you're so busy, you should have cleaned up that trash in Guri a long time ago. If the militia can't handle it, should I send reinforcements? He stormed out the door with his sword. That won't be necessary. I can't stand those bastards from the Ma Sung-sik gang anyway. I'll take care of them myself. Let's head back. Lee Yong-hyuk's subordinates followed his command. Yes, sir. Eun Jae-in intended to use Lee Yong-hyuk's men for a mission. Wait, leave those dogs here. They're coming with me. He spun around, furious, and confronted him. Didn't you just say the military wouldn't interfere? Lee Yong-hyuk was getting confused. What the hell are you trying to pull? The man had absolutely no intention of sparing Lee Yong-hyuk's subordinates. What do you think? These scumbags just tried to kidnap a close friend of mine. You expect me to just look the other way after finding that out? Unable to win the argument, he resorted to using His Majesty as a threat. This is a clear violation of a royal decree. If word of this reaches His Majesty. Eun Jae-in let out a mocking smile. Lee Yong-hyuk? He was furious at being lectured. Do you really think I'm like any other mediocre master, that you dare to speak to me so condescendingly? Oh, Jin-hyung's power made Lee Yong-hyuk break out in a cold sweat. What? But the man showed no fear whatsoever. If I were to take your head right here, right now, what kind of punishment do you think His Majesty would give me? Though trembling, he cleared his throat and challenged him. You dare? He taunted. Dare? Should I let this slide? Baek Pilsang couldn't help but laugh. You really think we wouldn't dare to touch you? Hong Yun-tae was ready to back him up. Just give the order, and we can take care of you immediately. Lee Yong-hyuk didn't know what to say in such a tense moment. The white-haired man looked like he was about to speak, but stopped himself. He knew he couldn't face the military head-on, so Lee Yong-hyuk frantically gave an order. Everyone, get in the car. We're heading back. His subordinates shouted in unison. Yes, sir. Oh, Jin-hyung was going to fix that arrogant attitude of his. That guy has been hyped up way too much in this Gurye region. Kim Tae-joo was moved by his enthusiasm. Thank you, Lieutenant General Oh. Oh Jin-hyung was extremely pleased. Don't mention it. We're in the same boat now, aren't we? Baek Hong-pyo warmly welcomed his visitors. I am truly honored that you all came as soon as you received my call. He clapped him on the shoulder and asked about the situation. Shopkeeper Baek, is everything all right? Baek Hong-pyo felt fortunate to have received their help. That was a close call. Kim Tae-joo had been thinking the worst would happen. If you hadn't called Lieutenant General Oh then, things could have ended very badly. Eun Jae-in no longer had anything to worry about. We've already captured those bastards. He then continued to discuss their punishment. Speaking of which, Eun Jae-in would absolutely not spare a single one of them. I will personally deal with them, and the one pulling their strings. He didn't want to drag the military into this. No, this is my personal business. The man explained why he had to get involved in handling the criminals. This is no longer just your problem. What if they disrupt the production of the antidote? The safety of our entire corps is on the line. Kim Tae-joo understood his feelings. I understand. Oh, Jin-hyung already had a plan in mind. We need to end this cleanly so we don't have to deal with Lee Yong-hyuk ever again. He thought of the person Oh Jin-hyung mentioned. Lee Yong-hyuk. Seeing no reaction from him, Kim Tae-joo guessed, my throwing knife definitely grazed him. Could a 4-star toxin be completely useless against a master? The question lingered in his mind. The man showed no signs of being poisoned at all. If Lieutenant General Oh hadn't intervened in time, would I have even had a chance of winning in that situation? Kim Tae-joo made a serious resolution. I need to get stronger. He hoped to become strong enough to decisively handle villains many times more powerful, so that something like this would never happen again. Sitting in the car, Lee Yong-hyuk cursed to vent his anger. Kim Tae-joo. Oh, Jin-hyung, you goddamn bastards. He noticed a change in his wound. This is the scratch from that little brat earlier. Dark veins spread across his hand, filling Lee Yong-hyuk with fear. Don't tell me. I've been poisoned? He gritted his teeth, enduring the pain without a sound. The poison quickly spread up his entire arm. He couldn't stop it. What is happening? The white-haired man was utterly bewildered as he watched Lee Yong-hyuk in the mirror. Chairman, losing his composure, he yelled, "Get me to a hospital, now, hurry." The car sped down the winding highway. Lee Yong-hyuk couldn't bear it any longer. Kim Tae-joo, what the hell did you do to me? Chapter 20. A helicopter flew over a vast mountain range. Inside, Oh Jin-hyung stared down with a grave expression at the kneeling man, who was trembling with fear. I swear, I'll tell you everything I know, but he just sneered. No need, we already know everything. Then, Yoon Jae-in called out, Hong Yoon-tae? He immediately stood up. Yes, I'm here. Hong Yoon-tae reached for the handle. Next, the helicopter door slid open, wind roaring past his ears, as an order rang out. All right, one by one, get out of the vehicle. Now. The men immediately started wailing, we beg you, please spare our lives. Of course, there was no mercy. They were all thrown out without a second thought. Baek Pil-sang dusted off his hands and reported, the cleanup is complete. Oh, Jin-hyung gave another order. Good. While you're at it, take care of that Jo Hun-suk guy too. The man replied, understood. He then turned to give instructions to Hong Yoon-tae and Baek Pil-sang. You two, assign some men to protect Baek Hong-pyo. They replied in unison, yes sir, with the tasks assigned. Oh Jin-hyung thought to himself that he would use this opportunity to forge a strong alliance with Kim Tae-joo. Meanwhile, at the bus terminal, Baek Seon was walking alone when her phone rang with a call from Baek Jong-hoon. She answered, continuing to walk as she talked. Hey Baek Jong-hoon, I just got off the bus and I'm at the terminal now. Suddenly, Seon's voice rose in pitch. What? He really did all of that? Baek Jong-hoon's voice came from the other end. I'm serious. He donated billions to this orphanage, he added. On top of that, he's already finished developing the antidotes. Seon recalled how she thought he was a con artist the last time they met. It was hard to believe. She got into a car and said before hanging up, I'm in a taxi now. I'll see you at home. Baek Jong-hoon obediently replied, okay sis, be careful. Seon called out to the driver, sir, please take me to Mr. Baek's orphanage. The driver it was only then that she understood. So this was the reason her father had called her back. The scene shifts to an elementary school, where Baek Hong-pyo is cooking for the children with two other teachers. Seon called out, Father, I'm home. Seeing her, his face lit up. My daughter, you've arrived? Seon gave a bright smile. Of course. When you call, I have to be here. Baek Hong-pyo gently patted her shoulder. Thank you, my dear. I'm so happy you're back. Seon looked curiously at the large steaming pot. What's all the excitement about today, father? And what's with all this stuff? He explained. Look, we just hunted a poison guardian deer, so we're having a party to celebrate. Her expression grew even more surprised. I see. Seon still found it hard to believe. So, everything Baek Jong-hoon said was actually true? Baek Hong-pyo replied. That's right. That's why everyone is enjoying its meat together. He then led Seo Baek Seon nearby. Kim Tae-joo is waiting over there. Come with me. At that moment, Kim Tae-joo was carefully serving food to each of the kids. The food is still very hot. Take your time and enjoy, he said. The father and daughter approached him. Baek Hong-pyo spoke first. Kim Tae-joo? I'd like to introduce you to Seon. Kim Tae-joo offered a polite smile. Hello, Miss Baek Seon. It's a pleasure to meet you. He then proactively brought up their previous encounter. I believe we've crossed paths before, haven't we? Seon wasn't flustered and replied comfortably. You still remember? I was truly rude back then. I hope you'll guide and help me from now on. She shook his hand with enthusiasm and determination. I will do my utmost to help Hong-bio grow in the right direction. Kim Tae-joo thanked her. With your help, I can rest easy. Thank you. Just then, the sound of heavy footsteps approached, and he turned his head curiously to look. Do Min-soo stepped forward and gave a proper military salute. Sir, Major Do Min-soo and 19 other soldiers have been officially dispatched to carry out security duties for Hong-bio. Kim Tae-joo extended a hand and replied graciously, Thank you all for coming. However, with this many people, I'm afraid we don't have enough rooms to accommodate all of you. Do Min-soo was very easygoing about it. Don't worry, we've brought a full set of field equipment with us. The two men shook hands, filled with anticipation and trust. I look forward to working with you. Major Do. I will personally guarantee your absolute safety with my life. Kim Tae-joo then extended an invitation. Since we're having a party, please join us. He immediately addressed his squad. You heard him, men. Drop your gear and get ready to eat. Dismissed. They responded in unison. Yes, sir. Looking at the current scene with his new allies, Kim Tae-joo thought to himself, I'm not alone anymore. I finally have an armed force of my own. the scene changes to the city of Guri. The streets are quiet under a cool, pleasant sky. Inside the meeting room of the self-governing committee, a voice rang out, listing the charges: manipulating drug prices, threatening small pharmacies, and bribing financial institutions. The person sitting on the high platform asked Jo Hun-suk, "Do you admit to these charges?" Though incredibly displeased, he was forced to submit. "I admit to them." Walking back down the hallway, Jo Hun-suk couldn't contain his anger. Those damn bastards. They were so happy when they took my money. And now they're just going to cast me aside like this? On top of that, Ma Sang-sik has completely vanished, and that brat Kim Tae-joo is still out there, living it up. He gritted his teeth, veins popping on his forehead. When did everything start to go off the rails? Jo Hun-suk's mind was in turmoil. There's nothing I can do now. Finally, he tried to calm himself down. I just need to lay low for a while, and everything will surely blow over. The car sped through the night, approaching an intersection as the light turned red. Suddenly, the rearview mirror reflected a motorcycle getting closer. Seeing the rider maintaining a close distance, Jo Hun-suk felt a sense of dread. What the hell is going on? Suddenly, the window was shattered by a baseball bat. Blood splattered inside the car, staining the steering wheel. The car spun out of control, hurtling off a cliff. After confirming the target had plunged into the lake below, the motorcycle rider reported back to his superiors. Mission accomplished. We are now withdrawing. In a laboratory, Lee Yong-hyuk was writhing in agony on a medical bed. He was enduring excruciating internal pain, his skin covered in dark bruises and bulging veins. Just then, a long-haired man opened the door and entered. "Chairman, we've brought the medicine." He presented a small box enveloped in a spiritual aura. "This is the highest-grade elixir from the Marina Pharmaceutical Group." Hearing this, Lee Yong-hyuk grew desperate. "Give it to me! Hurry!" Without hesitation, he grabbed it and put it in his mouth. As the orb entered his stomach, it suddenly radiated a scorching energy. Lee Yong-hyuk finally let out a sigh of relief. "Ah, that feels much better. It's the real deal." A 10 billion won elixir really does make a world of difference. Suddenly, a blast of light and fragments erupted from within him. Lee Yong-hyuk's face was now completely drained of color. "Damn it, that bastard Kim Tae-joo. I will never forgive you." Meanwhile, Kim Tae-joo was standing alone in a forest, deep in thought. Thanks to Baekseon's involvement, his company was slowly getting on track. However, the current problem was that their product catalog was still too limited compared to a typical pharmaceutical company. For that reason, I've personally come deep into the Jisan Mountains this time. My goal is to hunt a great moon bear and use its bile to create a new medicine. While I'm here, I also need to find some new poisons to aid my training. He walked along the path, thinking to himself that although he had only recently reached the 4-star level, perhaps because I've absorbed so many poison guardian spores lately, I feel like I'm about to have a breakthrough. That old man, Tang Jiu-e, would probably be shocked if he knew I was about to reach the 5-star threshold. Over there is a tree that secretes a poisonous sap. Suddenly, Kim Tae-joo noticed something. He reached out and wiped some of the thick liquid clinging to the trunk. It secretes poison from its bark to stop insects from boring into it. Amazing. This is a high-quality toxin. Out of habit, Kim Tae-joo brought some to his lips to taste it. Suddenly, a green frog appeared. It was a green-bellied frog, whose poison is concentrated mainly in the green part of its belly. He didn't hesitate to pick it up and put it in his pouch. This species has strong paralytic properties, making it well worth collecting for research. Besides that, Kim Tae-joo also discovered other creatures, and this was a white-necked king centipede. Watching the centipede wrap around his arm, he analyzed that its size was even more terrifying than most snakes, and its venom was potent enough to take down an orc in an instant. Looking at the bite mark spreading on the back of his hand, Kim Tae-joo showed a glimmer of interest. Such potent toxicity, and the flavor is so fresh and stimulating. He then sensed a strange disturbance. A flash of light appeared from a nearby bush. A strange trail? Immediately after, the figure of a long-horned bear emerged. Seeing its massive body, Kim Tae-joo thought to himself, "So, I've found you, or were you the one looking for me?" It was a great moon bear. It let out a ferocious, earth-shaking roar. Kim Tae-joo's gaze remained calm. "I've run into it sooner than I thought. Let's see how strong it really is." He then pulled out several throwing darts, holding them between his fingers. Without hesitation, Kim Tae-joo hurled them all at the great moon bear, but with a single swipe of its paw, it swatted all the weapons away. Seeing this, he was quite surprised. That's incredibly fast. The enraged great moon bear charged furiously at Kim Tae-joo. He dodged aside, taking the opportunity to throw several more hidden blades. Swift wind steps. The small daggers embedded themselves in its back, but less than a second later, it shook its body once, and they all fell harmlessly to the ground. Kim Tae-joo continued his assault with a powerful punch, vein-sealing poison palm. The great moon bear was no slouch either, striking back with a powerful swipe, its sharp claws shattering the tree branches. Kim Tae-joo kept up the relentless assault with his phantom poison step. After a moment, he retreated, frowning as he calculated. None of my attacks are landing a clean hit. Watching the colossal body charge at him, Kim Tae-joo thought, this monster is on a completely different level than any expert-grade opponent I've ever faced. With just my 4-star poison spirit technique, there's no way I can handle this. He panted, struggling to catch his breath. In this critical situation, Kim Tae-joo's pouch was already open. He told himself he had to get stronger, right now. Kim Tae-joo pulled out the green frog from before and popped it into his mouth, followed by the white centipede. Almost instantly, he could feel a surge of vital energy within his body. Venomous power was coursing through his meridians like a raging tide. The only thing left is to channel all of it into my poison core. Kim Tae-joo couldn't help but be amazed by this power. It's a success, he laughed triumphantly. My ability has evolved. Has the Supreme Primal Poison Spirit technique reached the 5-star level? Confidence returned to Kim Tae-joo's eyes. From this moment on, the tables are about to turn. He reached into his breast pocket, his ultimate poison-based hidden weapon technique. And then, butterflies were released. Blood butterflies. They immediately soared toward the Great Moon Bear. The blood butterflies were a high-level hidden weapon that a practitioner could only use after reaching the 5-star realm. By infusing them with my internal energy, I can control their flight path at will. One of the Great Moon Bear's eyes was grievously wounded by a blood butterfly, followed by its large ear. Seeing it stagger, Kim Tae-joo was confident. It's over. Finally, the Great Moon Bear collapsed completely, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I broke through to the 5-star level and successfully defeated this giant bear. Kim Tae-joo smiled faintly in satisfaction. Time to collect my prize. He approached its corpse and began to search it. A moment later, an internal organ of the Great Moon Bear was pulled out, emitting a mysterious light. Kim Tae-joo looked at it and confirmed, this is indeed its gallbladder. The venomous energy it's emitting is so intense. Just as I predicted, this is a bear's gallbladder. The amount of toxic energy inside is truly formidable. Next, he used his power to refine it and place it into a special container. Holding the prize in his hand, Kim Tae-joo was extremely satisfied. Perfect. Now I have enough ingredients to craft the spirit medicine. Time to head back.